Chapter 076. The terrifying cry of the black rabbit soon spread throughout the nameless territory. Children playing in the backyard, honey glass of Ganlu temple who rebuilt their home in their ruins of the vestibule, and Chipper who arrived today all heard the voice and came to watch. After understanding what happened, everyone's gazes towards Lin Kei became frightened. Let the black rabbit alone be responsible for completing all the preparations for a large festival. Where did this come from? The street lamp pendant? That, Sister Black Rabbit? Or will we help too? Fox-eared Lulai picked up the black rabbit kneeling on the ground, put it on the sofa next to it, and spoke. Although the strength is a little weaker, it is still no problem for us to help with procurement or carrying some things. No, Lily, because he often acts as a host among the major communities. Black Rabbit can be said to be very clear about how 3 or 4 trouble this matter is. Even with the older children, there is still much worse manpower. In total, there were more than 20 children in the older group. In addition, counting Li Tizier, Ganlu Jamiri, and Chipu and others, the total number is less than 40. Just such a small number of people, to hold a harvest festival, it is simply impossible. But if he gave up on this, Black Rabbit was also a little unwilling. After digesting the trophies of Bolsius, Nameless has mastered the method of mass production of stealth helmets and flying shin guards, plus the 3-color domineering cultivation method, the breathing method, and the imperial tool that Lin Kei told her today. Today's Namelessness has mastered several channels for accumulating wealth, just waiting to beat the fame out. And holding the Torai Tunis Falls Harvest Festival is just an opportunity. Not only can you open a temporary shop at the Harvest Festival to do a wave of initial publicity, as long as it can be successfully held, the unknown reputation can be spread, and more people can buy it. On the other side, seeing Black Rabbit's contemplative look, Lilai came to Lin Kei and asked, "Brother Lin Kei, isn't there any good way?" "If there is a way, there is still a way." Picking up Lilai and putting it on her lap, Lin Kei touched her head. "If there are not enough people, just recruit someone to help. He has also opened up 3 worlds, and he can pull people from the next door to work for a little bit of points. Recruiting? This is a solution to the problem." The Black Rabbit on the side thought for a while, but if you recruit a large number of personnel in a short period of time, it is easy to cause uneven personnel quality. Strength is still secondary, after all. Now the Nameless rely on Lin Kei. A few people. If you mix in the kind of bad intentions, or poor mental character, it is a big trouble. One who does not pay attention can easily damage the reputation of the Nameless and even cause the loss of property. Not knowing that Lin Kei could quickly recruit a wave of black rabbits who could be trusted to beat workers, he raised his opinion after a moment of silence. "Or we can pay for some temporary workers. Although it is easy to cause financial problems, as long as the event is successful, everything will pay for itself. As for the arrangement of some key places, you can go to those former allies and ask them to help. For the sake of Lin Kei and Lord Lisha, they should not refuse, that is, they will owe a favor." "Actually, there is no need to be so troublesome." Bei Aixi, who had not spoken not far away, raised her hand at this time and signaled, "I can help find someone to work, the kind that is free and very good." "Huh? This is not 5. Lord Shiro Yukai. Only then did Black Rabbit notice that there were more people in the community. "Why are you Nameless, Bei Aixi?" How does it feel that this rabbit just seemed to be calling her by some kind of rude name? Squinting at each other, Shiro Yukai replied, "I was asked by Lord Shirayasha to join Nameless and work with you guys next." "Lord Shiro Yukai, you want to join Nameless?" Black Rabbit's eyes lit up, and he seemed to have thought of something. "Excuse me, Lord Bei Aixi, your identity as the Lord of the Torai Tunis Waterfall still there?" As if knowing what Black Rabbit wanted to ask, Bei Aixi replied, "Actually, this is also what I was going to say just now. Although I used to sleep all the time, there are not many acquaintances. But recently a group of water spirits moved to the vicinity of the Great Falls in Tunisia and have been dealing with me ever since. As long as they prepare a suitable place to live after the base is over, they can be paid as free day labor 0. As for their numbers, if you count them all, you can make up about 400 people." "That's enough." The Black Rabbit jumped up excitedly. "There are still more than 20 days before the festival begins, and if you start preparing from now on, it will be more than enough to complete the arrangement. Now the only thing to think about is the gift game." As the organizer, Nameless naturally has to hold a gift game. With the specifications of the Torai Tunis Falls Harvest Festival, Nameless must prepare at least 5 bounty games. It is open at different times according to a fixed time for guests who come to the festival to register. "If you give the game, I can be responsible for solving 2. Bei Aixi spoke again. In the past, the Torai Tunis Waterfall Harvest Festival was jointly held by the nearby outer gate, and I, as the owner there, was usually responsible for the opening and closing. As long as you design the 3 bounty games in the middle, there will be no problem." "Great." Now the workload is lighter again. Black Rabbit's voice gradually became cheerful. "It is worthy of being the support staff sent by Lord Shirayasha, and people are going to impress you. Baixji, so what the hell did you think of me before? In short, there are still 3 bounty games left to prepare. Noticing that Baixji's gaze was wrong, Black Rabbit also realized at this moment that 1.8 had said the wrong thing. In order to change the subject, she looked at her own leader, who had been paddling and fishing. Lin Kei, think of a way to do it. Holding Lin Kei's right arm, the Black Rabbit's whole person instantly pasted up. You're the chief. Time to get down to business. Lin Kei? When did this rabbit learn this trick? Feeling the comfort coming from his arm, Lin Kei narrowed his eyes and touched her head. Well, since you said so, then the remaining 3 gift games are handed over to me, and you can prepare for the festival with peace of mind. Yay! The Black Rabbit jumped up happily. It is worthy of the move of Lord Letizia, and it really works. Chapter 077. After the short combat meeting, Black Rabbit and the others began to take action. Some go to communicate with acquaintances, some go to buy fireworks and decorations, and some go to do warm-up publicity in advance. All kinds of discussions sounded from everywhere, and all them cheered up a fiery look. It's so good. Listening to the sound coming from outside the door, Lin Kei, who was lying on the bed, snorted lazily. It's all so energetic, and it's a little envious. If you envy, go to work. A magical voice full of charm rose in Lin Kei's mind. Didn't you also promise that rabbit to make 3 gift games? Yes, but it doesn't take much time to prepare for the bounty game. Lifting the pendant hanging around his neck, Lin Kei threw a trace of spirit into it and came to the familiar glazed palace. In the 3 days of Chopping Kai World, Lin Kei often came here to chat with Aja in his spare time. Although the time is still short, it can be regarded as a preliminary familiarity. Looking at Aja sitting on the steps in front of him, Lin Kei replied while leisurely walking towards the other party. Ordinary bounty games are different from Demon King games, and you don't need to set up more O3 how difficult it is. As long as the prizes are in place, even if it is a simple point, there will be people who will participate. Let's touch the fish for a few days first, and then start making it when the festival is about to start. So, Aja asked with some curiosity, what kind of gift game are you going to make? Although it was just intuition, she felt that Lin Kei's answer must not be what Black Rabbit wanted. I want to think. Hearing Arjel's inquiry, Lin Kei thought for a while. If you first give a game, it will be rock paper scissors. The first round of auditions was determined by 1 round, and 64 was awarded. The second round of screening is 2 wins in 3 games, and the decision is made. Al-chan thinks it's better for you to change. Before Lin Kei finished speaking, Aja, who had intuitively guessed it, couldn't help but complain. If you really take out this kind of gift game, Nameless will be completely famous. Of course, it is fame in the negative sense. As for the rabbit that looks super serious, I'm afraid it will be fainted directly by you. Strange, why are you so kind today? After being vetoed by Arjel, Lin Kei did not care too much. After all, this gift game is just a casual statement by him, and the finished product that he finally pulled out will certainly not be so simple. On the contrary, Aja, who helped the Black Rabbit speak and denied his idea, surprised him a little. If it's normal, shouldn't you put your hands and feet up in favor and get ready to have fun? Now that it has suddenly become so serious, it must not be some conspiracy. Arjel lowered the corners of his mouth. Al is now trapped by the seal. Even if there is a conspiracy, he can't do it. Then why do you look so weird today? Lin Kei squatted down in front of Aja and reached out to touch the other party's forehead. I don't look like I have a fever. HMPH. And sneak over while Al-chan is not paying attention. After reaching out to slap Lin Kei's palm into the air, Aja snorted with some dissatisfaction, stood up and spoke. I won't go around the corner with you. Al does have one thing he wants to do right now. The 3 bounty games that Rabbit gave you, can you divide Al? Al wants to go out and wander around. You want to come out and wander? Lin Kei raised his eyebrows. Yes, it just so happens that I can also think of one less gift game. Huh? Did you just say yes? Arjel, who had already prepared several sets of statements, was stunned and looked at Lin Kei suspiciously. You are really bold enough. Aren't you afraid that Al will do something? Anyway, you won't start with ordinary people. There's nothing to worry about. Although it was only a few days, Lin Kei had already initially understood Aja's character. Ordinary people are not attractive to her at all. Even if she wants to make trouble, she is targeting the strong. As for wanting to take a gift game from him and go out this time, Yoking is also tired of being in the seal and wants to go out for a walk. Speaking of which, if you appear in the outside world, will it attract the attention of those people? Do you need to say that? Of course it will. Aja ruffled her long glazed hair, and a little light bloomed beside her, looking gorgeous. You are different from that stupid pig Evluos. Summoning Al-chan must appear in the full state of the seal. At that time, others aside, that ugly girl of Athena will definitely feel it. Speaking of this, Arjel paused slightly and took the initiative to excited. How? I promised so quickly before, but now I should be afraid and want to break the contract. No, I was just thinking you could attract a few triple digits. Read violent novels, just go to Felu Fiction Network. Lin Kei, who was lying on the ground in large characters, and his eyes diverged, replied casually. If you slaughter the three-digit figure who came to make trouble, it would almost shake their entire box court. It is also a three-digit figure, which should give a lot of world prestige. Kill 3 digits? Hearing Lin Kei's shocking speech, Arja on the side looked at him a little dumbfounded. 513. If that's what you think, Al advises you to be provincial, including the ugly girl of Athena. No matter what they are going to do, it is impossible for their entity to come to the door in person. Won't the ontology come in person? Lin Kei looked at Arja. Why? Aren't you actually as valued as I thought? What are you thinking? How is that possible? Arja crossed his hands at his waist, and his face was full of confidence. Alk is the first title of the box court, and he is naturally valued. As for why the three-digit number will not come in person, the main thing is that the existence of that level will cause great damage once it is started. Forget about other places. The area you are in now is focused on by Shirayasha. As if thinking of something, a sneer appeared on Arja's face. You need to know that nowadays, 2 digits can only be used as bystanders, and 3 digits can only be passed through the rules of proxy war, but most of them are formed because of Shirayasha. Forget about hiding in the secret. If there are 3 figures running to this outer gate, I am afraid that they will not see Al, and they will first be stopped by the nearby Shirayasha with his fist. Lin Kei? So what about his fishing plan? Chapter 078. Eyeing Borsius, digging a hole for Luos, and then winning Argel through the bounty game. Although his goal was to go to Argel at the beginning, after the unblocking of the group mall, he had a new reason. Use Argel as bait to seduce those 3 figure hooks. As long as one of them can be killed, the world's reputation will start at least a few hundred points. You know, a little world reputation in the box court world is 100,000 group points, and hundreds of world reputation is tens of millions of group points. For Lin Kei, who currently has a huge gap in points, this point is still quite important. As a result, the plans are all ready. Now Arja actually told him that the 3 figures could not come because he was afraid of Hikayasha. Give a little effort. The first title of the box court. Lin Kei sighed weakly. Quickly use your invincible charm to seduce a 3-digit down. Those guys are not stupid. How can it be that simple? Arjel lowered the corners of his mouth. To be honest, Al thinks you're a little too confident. You know, 3 digits is not so simple. If you really come, whether you can fight is still a question. But I really think I can fight. Lin Kei raised his finger and casually swiped down. Boom. The entire space shook at this moment, and the twisting friction sounded in Arjel's ears. In her gaze, where Lin Kei's finger crossed, a black crack appeared out of thin air. Looking closely, she could even see Lin Kei's body through the rift. The black rift didn't last long, and it was only a few seconds later erased by the ceiling space's automatic repair mechanism. This was made by the biblical gods and sealed by the Greek gods for the second time. Even she, who currently holds a top-level 4-digit power, can't have any impact on this sealed space. I opened the seal with a swipe of my hand. It turns out that you really weren't bragging before. Whether it's bragging or not, I don't know myself. Lin Kei straightened up with a cup and patted the dust on his body. After all, so far, I really haven't met anyone who can fight me. There is no evenly matched opponent, and they do not dare to easily burst out with all their strength so as not to evaporate the surrounding acquaintances. He can only control his own power and play family games with the enemies he encounters, which is Lin Kei's current state. In fact, even the control power is sometimes not well controlled. After all, the power in his body is growing all the time. Maybe occasionally a distraction uses a little more force, which is a world of different power. Well, speaking of which, I suddenly have a good plan. As if thinking of something, Lin Kei suddenly laughed. The first title of the box court, or you will debut again. Huh? Arjel tilted his head, rarely following Lin Kei's train of thought. What do you mean? I mean, the smile on Lin Kei's face became more and more intense. Since those 3-digit figures dare not come over and fight, then I will shake the box court in another way. Brush the world's prestige, but did not say that you have to fight with a strong. Since there are no 3-digit hits, then he will release Arjel. As one of the 3 major problem children in the box court, her unsealing must be enough to shake the entire box court. Ready for freedom. When the words fell, Lin Kei didn't give Arjel time to reply, and directly swung a punch towards the sky. Boom. A deafening roar sounded, and the terrifying aura smashed and dissipated the glazed palace in an instant. In Arjel's surprised gaze, a huge fist seal appeared in the sky of the sealed space, and a dense spatial rift spread out from this center. The self-healing mechanism of the sealed space continues to exert force, trying to repair these cracks, but compared to the speed of diffusion, it is just a drop in the bucket. In less than a second, massive spatial rifts filled the entire spatial seal. In the next instant, a crisp explosion sounded in Arja's ears, and the surrounding scenery changed instantly. It actually came out. His gaze swept around, and Arjel's face was a little confused. Being in the seal for many years, even she, the person who was sealed, began to get used to it. The sudden regaining of freedom made Arja feel a sense of illusory. Dear first idol of the box court, it's almost time for you to get up and change positions. Just as Arjel began to lament the vagaries of life, A palm suddenly reached out from under her body and patted her leg. Before the seal was lifted, the snake-haired banshee's pendant was worn by Lin Kei around his neck. Now that the ceiling space has been shattered, the location of Aja's appearance naturally goes without saying. Of course, this is really nothing. Being sat on the head by a beautiful girl, Lin Kei can still accept it. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. But if this beautiful girl is Ajal, it will be a little over the standard. Even if your current identity is a god, it doesn't mean that all the characteristics of the star spirit have disappeared, so you can count your weight a little. Seeing that Aja did not react, Lin Kei grabbed Aja's legs with his left and right hands and lifted her up. It's time for you to lose weight, Aja. Hey, what a faux pas for you to say. Ajal, who was suddenly raised high, came back to his senses, and his upper body was planted directly backwards. After changing from a seated L position to a downward position, Ajal reached out and grabbed Lin Kei's cheeks and dragged them to the sides. Al's figure is a perfect body shape that has been accurately calculated, and there is no so-called fat on his body. Got it? Weight loss or something? You don't need it at all. I understand the reason, but why do you have to fight back in such a strange posture? Lin Kei raised his eyebrows, ready to drag Ajal to the side of the ground. But before he could start to act, the door of the room not far away was knocked open first. Bang! Lin Kei, the black rabbit, rushed in from outside. I heard an explosion from your side. Are you okay? Right? Looking at the two of them scuffling together in a strange posture to beat Lin Kei and Ajal, their expression on the black rabbit's face was stunned. What is the situation? Chapter 079. Don't worry, Black Rabbit, I'm fine. After hearing the voice, Lin Kei, who was still holding Ajal, twisted his head and looked at the black rabbit standing at the door. It's just that when I just broke the seal, I used a little more force, so I made some movement. Break the seal? What seal? The ears on the top of the black rabbit's head swayed from side to side, not being able to understand Lin Kei's meaning. Although I don't quite understand what the situation is, it's better for the two of you to separate. First, looking at Ajal, who still maintained a strange posture and was even trying to fight back, the black rabbit took a step forward and prepared to take Ajal off Lin Kei's hand. Stupid rabbit, stay away from Al. Noticing the small movements of the black rabbit, Ajal's eyes widened, and his body exuded a dangerous aura. If you dare to approach at will, Al will turn you into a stone sculpture. Huh? Looking at Aja, the black rabbit's body froze. Although what the other party said sounded like a joke, Black Rabbit was keenly aware that Aja was serious. This little girl, who scared her just by the breath on her body, was really capable and prepared to do so. Bang! Just when the Black Rabbit was in a dilemma, Lin Kei suddenly got up and threw Al 340 jia to the ground. Speak carefully, Ajal. Lin Kei raised his eyebrows. Don't scare my pet, otherwise I will be angry. Wait a minute. With Lin Kei blocking in front of him, the Black Rabbit, who had recovered his sense of security, couldn't help but complain. Why are people suddenly becoming pets? Hey, Lin Kei, what are you doing? For the sake of a pet, you actually threw Al to the ground. As the first idol of the box court, don't you think that Al has not always been a pet important? It's not a pet. Stupid. Lin Kei looked down at Ajal from top to bottom. You ask me why I did this? Then please ask the first idol of the box court. Will my pets sell cute and coquettish, and will subdue you? People really aren't pets. Don't say anymore. Hey, people won't sell cute and coquettish, let alone subdue. Play. HMPH. Aja ruffled his hair and assumed a familiar pose. Al-chan, super beautiful. So what you want to express is that you only have good looks left? Lin Kei looked at her with pity. In this era where everyone can have plastic surgery, you are really sad that only this is left. Ajal, too naive. Lin Kei. Aja shot back. Al-time. But after thousands of times of debugging and long-term maintenance, it is the only one. Even if you get another 10,000 years, you can't get close to Al-chan. You said there is no possibility. That's just what you think. Lin Kei raised his eyebrows. In fact, to reach your level, you don't need to be so troublesome at all. Ajal's body paused and looked at Lin Kei, whose tone was not quite right from just now. I have been constantly provoking and provoking, even if Al's temper is good. He can't bear it. If you don't apologize, Alka will do it. Then come on. Lin Kei had his left hand behind his back, and his right hand hooked towards Aja. I'll give you a hand. Although the release of Aja is to brush the world's prestige, this does not mean that Lin Kei is ready to really stalk the other party. It is necessary to teach a good lesson as soon as possible, so that Aja can restrain her arrogant mentality and allow her to communicate with others normally. Wait a minute. Seeing that the two seem to really want to do it, the Black Rabbit finally couldn't help but stand up and stopped between the two. Listen to the tone. Don't you know each other? If you have anything to say, please say it well. It's too bad to do something without saying a word. And this is the station. If you make a disturbance, it will hurt the children. Then hit somewhere else next time. Aja, who was ready to be beaten, was silent for a few seconds before silently retracting his hand. It was hard to come out of the seal. If you cannot be beaten, you still don't get beaten. Phew, it seems that the two of you have calmed down temporarily. Read violent novels, Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Noticing Aja's movements, the Black Rabbit breathed a sigh of relief. Put it away, this one is called Al. Well, halfway through the words, the Black Rabbit, who finally noticed Ajal's name, froze, and turned his head trembling to look over. Aja glanced at her. What for? Something to say bluntly. That it just suddenly felt that Miss Aja's name seemed a little familiar. Wiping the cold sweat flowing from the corner of his forehead, the Black Rabbit retreated behind Lin Kei again. Excuse me, aren't you supposed to be the legendary demon star? Hey, that's before. Ajal, who was accurately stepped on by the Black Rabbit, said in a bad tone, because of the little action of that ugly girl of Athena. Al is not a complete star spirit now. Lots of wood. Lin Kei, seeing that Ajal admitted his identity, the Black Rabbit grabbed Lin Kei's arm, and his voice couldn't stop trembling. What's going on here? Why does the famous demon star appear in your room? Wait. Did you say before that you broke the seal? Although he usually shows a little crotch pulling, the Black Rabbit is not really stupid. The first time she saw Aja admit her identity, she thought of the fact that Aja was there. Property of Bolsius. Lin Kei, who personally defeated Liu O's, is also normal to get Ajal's seal from the other party. Then, naturally, the Black Rabbit thought of the first words Lin Kei said after he entered the room. What seal did you break? Isn't that obvious? Lin Kei raised his hand, revealing the stone particles that were no longer visible on it. Of course it's Ajal's seal. Black Rabbit tears. Breaking any seal will only hurt you. Chapter 080. I probably understand what happened. In Lin Kei's room, Letitia, who had just gone out to shop and was called back a few steps away, stood in front of the mirror and concluded while helping Aja fix his hair. To put it simply, the owner of the gift game, who separated from us 10 minutes ago and said that he wanted to return to the room, entered the ceiling space after returning to the room to exchange experience with Lord Aja about the gift game. Then the master suddenly awakened kindly, feeling that Lord Ajal was now his own subordinate, and she couldn't be allowed to suffer in the seal like this, so he broke the seal. That's right, that's right. Lin Wei nodded. The summary is in place, much more reliable than a useless rabbit who can't speak. Phew. This is not to blame. The culprit who called Li Shobak was hanging down from his head and ears at this moment, looking like the rest of his life. That's the legendary Ajal. Isn't it normal to suddenly see it without preparation, feel flustered and afraid? Don't talk like a yukai. Aja, who was enjoying the services of Letitia, glanced at the Black Rabbit with a look of disgust on his face. Remember well, Al is the first idol of the box court, a beautiful girl who everyone loves. Next time you talk nonsense, even if you are Lin Kei's pet, Al will be angry. So, people are really not pets. The Black Rabbit, who had already corrected it I don't know how many times, sighed and retorted weakly. Obviously, the two of you haven't known each other for long. Why didn't Lord Ajal suspect that Lin Kei was deceiving people? Al is not blind, of course he can see it. After being recognized by Lin Kuejian, recognized, Shan, true, sect, Y, and cultivated, threatened. Although Aja's tone was still a little bad, it was much better than when he had just broken out of the seal. Will sell cute Saka Ketish uniforms, isn't this a bet? Haven't you thought that that might be fake too? The Black Rabbit wanted to slap the table to refute, but he was afraid of irritating Aja in front of him. After thinking about it, she looked at Letitia, who was combing her hair and seemed to have a good relationship with Aja, and asked for help. Lord Letitia, please help me explain a few words. Otherwise, the misunderstanding will only get worse. This. Letitia's hand combing her hair paused slightly. Ajal, this is indeed fake. The Black Rabbit has not yet learned to sell cute, only coquettish and system play. Lord Letitia, what the hell are you explaining? Because she helped Lin Kei take care of it every day, Letitia's craftsmanship was quite good, and she was successfully recognized by Ajal. After simply persecuting the Black Rabbit, the relationship between Letitia and Aja gradually became familiar. So Lord Aja also wants to prepare his own bounty game at this harvest festival? Yes, Lin Kei also agreed. Aja replied, don't be nervous, your little bit of caution could not be clearer. It's just an ordinary gift minigame that won't have any bad impact. Letitia nodded and replied as the other party said, I believe Lord Aja has a sense of proportion. Lin Kei's kind of mouth full of running trains is a minority after all. Strong people like Aja usually disdain to lie and deceive people. Since the other party said that it would not cause bad effects, there would definitely be no problems. The only thing to worry about is the specifics of the bounty game. Whether Aja's ordinariness is really ordinary or not, then there is a question mark. Well, if there is no problem, don't gather here in a daze. Lin Kei's voice came from the side. Now that the time is so tight, Black Rabbit, aren't you busy preparing for the festival to fish here? Are you preparing to work overtime for a while? As for Letitia, take Aja to wander around the territory to familiarize yourself with the environment, and buy the materials needed for the festival. By the way, speaking of this, Lin Kei paused slightly, as if remembering something, with a smile in his voice. Remember to go to Shirayasha to buy the materials you need for the festival. She kept telling me a while ago that she wanted to see Ajal, and that if I didn't do it, I would put Nameless on the list of dishonest. Take this opportunity to meet the two of them. Letitia nodded a little helplessly. I see, Master. Let Hakayasha and Arja meet. His own master is really not a big deal, and he hurries up to spread all the news about the lifting of the Arja seal. Arjal, remember what we said earlier. Lin Kei's gaze finally turned to the absent-minded party. Don't make trouble. If you want to make trouble, you must call me. How does it feel like you're expecting Al to do something? Vaguely aware that something was wrong, Arja replied. Don't worry, Al is just unblocked now, and he just wants to walk around. Of course, if those geese send their men over to find trouble, then Al may not be able to bear it. Arjal was talking about Buddhism, the Bible, and the many Greek gods and Buddhas. Although the main force that clashed with her was the top of these communities, she has now shrunk significantly after 2 defeats. Now Arjal's strength is almost hovering in the top 4 figures. If you want to target her, the high level of those god groups don't even need to go down in person, just send 4-digit subordinates over. On the other side, Lin Kei also gave an affirmative reply. It's best to provoke the other party first and let them do it first, and then beat me to death. Don't be afraid of big things. The bigger the trouble, the better. Wait. Black Rabbit's eyes widened on the side. Lin Kei? What are you going to do? Isn't that obvious? Lin Kei laughed. I'm just helping the beautiful girl who was bullied get out of trouble, and then punishing the evil people who don't follow the rules. Villain? Are you talking about yourself? Looking at Lin Kei in front of him without saying anything, the Black Rabbit didn't say anything. In the end, just sighed heavily. Life is not easy. Black Rabbit sighed. Forget it. Anyway, Arja is now a nameless member, and he can't stuff his companions back into the seal in order to beg for mercy. Things have come to this point. Let's watch Lin Kei perform. Looking at the man not far away who was smiling and brought by the invitation of the miracle. Even though the current situation is unprecedentedly bad, Black Rabbit's heart is still gradually calming down. It's time to prepare for the harvest offering. Chapter 081. After there was a temporary determination about Arjal's unsealing, Black Rabbit and the others did not stop in Lin Kei's room. Just like Lin Kei said, the time to prepare for the harvest festival is very tight at present. If you don't hurry up now, you will be an endless hell of overtime when the festival approaches. For the Black Rabbit who has just experienced it for 2 days, this situation is naturally avoidable and avoided. Finally, there is no one. After Black Rabbit and the others all left, the culprit who personally caused this farce continued to lie on the bed, at ease as a salted fish. Although the whole process persecuted the Yui Black Rabbit, it was still good in terms of their final result. Arjal broke free from the seal and gained freedom. Nameless has obtained a new general, and his comprehensive strength has greatly increased. Lin Kei also successfully gained world prestige, and the goal of 300 million points took a small step. Open the chat group. 533 Lin Kei scratched to the top to look at their announcement. 100 points of world prestige. Not bad. Lin Kei's face showed satisfaction. Compared to the sporadic world reputation obtained by taking out Bolsius before, the world reputation obtained by helping Arja break the seal is not too easy. Of course, getting rid of Bolsius is a prerequisite for obtaining Arjal, so these two things can be regarded as one thing. His gaze crossed over the world prestige announcement, and Lin Kei looked at the news below. Notice, the total number of points of group members has exceeded 10 million, and the chat group level has been increased, and new functions such as timeline compression and world lottery pool have been unlocked. Miss Kigya, Benzina, good guy, opening lightning strike. Passerby heroine, 10 million points. Better. Thief cat, last time when I had millions of points, I was still in the mood to calculate how many points I contributed, and this time I didn't even have the desire to watch 10 million points. Furniture City Master, indeed, the points in the hands of everyone in the group now are probably not a fraction of the amount of Lin Kei's administrator. Ice Queen, 10 million points, the gap is even bigger now. Benzina, so you haven't seen it yet? Wait a minute. Benzina, timeline compression, when traveling through the world, you can pay an additional 10 group points to compress the timeline, so that no matter how long the group members leave, only one day will pass when they return to this world. Benzina, World Draw Pool, unlock the current World Lottery pool of group members, and draw cards once for every 100 group points consumed. Benzina, Note 1, prizes are divided into 9 levels according to different levels, and the higher the level of the item, the lower the probability of drawing. Benzina, Note 2, only prizes existing in the current world will appear in the prize pool, and when the world reputation of other worlds reaches 300 points/700 points/1000 points, the prize pool of the first stage, second stage, full version of the world can be unlocked. Avenger, it looks pretty good. When you go to other worlds in the future, don't worry about leaving for too long, there will be problems in this world. Benzina, indeed, like the last time I left for too long, my family thought I was kidnapped and almost called the police. Furniture City Master, the prize pool function also looks good, and there are a lot of practical things in it. Looking at the 12 charms in the prize pool, as well as the ghost masks, cups of life, and history books of time that he had never heard of, but the level of the items was also not low, Jackie Chan's face showed emotion. The world I am in is really deep. Miss Kaguya, alas, I envy Uncle Long, you who have a high initial world level, and the prize pool on my side is full of ordinary things. Miss Kaguya, like diamonds and gold, it's useless to pull them out. Passerby heroine, I think it's okay, and there are also physical fitness for 1 year of hard training, and sword mastery in the lottery pool that can improve strength, and it feels good. Miss Kaguya, but these can also be purchased from the mall, that is, it costs a little more points. She has already seen it, and the items in the prize pool are exactly the same as the items in their mall. It's good to say that if you get a draw, you will lose blood directly. Ghost Killer Team Flowerpillar, so you are not ready to draw a lottery. Avenger, don't smoke. Thief Cat, don't smoke. Timeline compression and the world draw pool. After quickly sweeping his gaze in the group message column, Lin K also opened the new function and glanced at it. It is exactly the same as Asuna, a repeat. It can be said that it is a copy and paste of the past. But in addition to these two new features that everyone unlocked, Lin K unexpectedly found that his administrator privileges seem to have increased. Daily draw, every 24 o'clock, you can draw a free lottery in the lottery pool. 30 days free consumption, when the time to travel through the world is less than 30 days, their timeline can be compressed for free. 50% discount. Once every 100 years, you can designate an item in the mall and buy it at a 5% discount. For every new feature unlocked in the chat group, will the administrator have an additional corresponding privilege? His gaze swept over the 3 newly added privileges, and a smile appeared on Lin K's face. This is unexpected good news. After the group level was raised last time, he just looked at the function of the group mall, and he was distracted by the addition of newcomers. Then I went on vacation to Chopworld and didn't come back until today. If it weren't for the chat group upgrade to unlock 2 new features, Lin K, who usually doesn't open the function column, might not be able to find out about it. If there is a 5-fold discount, their Identity of the Final Trial of Mankind only needs 150 million. Glancing at his early 10 million points, Lin K suddenly felt that he was not far from completing his goal. Let's use today's free draw first. Switching to the lottery pool, Lin K selected the lottery pool of Box Court World and decisively pressed the 2.3 lottery button. Godhead, Introduction, high-level gifts that allow holders to change into the highest rank of their own species, and the number is very rare. Note, when you possess a godhead, you will strengthen your other gifts. Lin K, so much luck. That's the soul. Lin K, who originally thought that he would only draw chicken ribs such as 1 year linger or 1,000 eyes gold coin, was stunned and decisively switched to the chat page. Aquaman, Godhead. JPG. Seeking, guys, Kunming has knew this, is it easy to use? All members. Chapter 082. Seeking, guys, Kunming has knew this, is it easy to use? All members. Avenger, Van Marstarman, Benzina, Damn Seals. Miss Kaguya, I don't envy. Passerby heroine, it seems to be something very powerful. Hairspray hand. Last time, Lin K's administrator said that even if ordinary people have obtained the godhead, they will become at least 5 figures. Speaking of this, Lan Ran couldn't help but sigh. According to Lin K, the 5-digit targets are all existences that can easily destroy a country and wash the surface. Before the collapse, jade was completely manufactured. The blue dyeing with relatively few means of output was almost to this extent. A godhead can make an ordinary person have a power comparable to him, and this precious item is something even Lan Ran wants. Furniture City Master, you don't need to be so envious. Lin K's administrator has tens of millions of points in his hands, and it is normal to ship a shipment. Singren, yes, I almost forgot about it. Miss Kaguya, Aquaman, how much you draw out, it shouldn't cost more than the price of 03 Mal, so come out to find comfort. Aquaman, screenshot of the lottery record. JPG. Aquaman, sorry, a shot into the soul. Thief Cat. Miss Kaguya, can't stand it. Even if the strength is strong, why is Lin K's luck so good? Van Marstarman, I drew all my points, and as a result, I added 2 years of physical fitness, blood loss. Thief Cat, I only smoked 10 rounds, all sunk. Avenger, it's good I didn't smoke. Aquaman, stay away from gambling, you and she do it. Pumping leopard jumps is an indispensable part of tasting. Of course, the premise is that he jumped the leopard. Looking at Asuna and the others who were criticizing him in the chat group and going crazy about text output, Lin K, who was refreshed, finally stopped. Speaking of which, with the timeline compression function, it seems that you can hang out again. As an administrator, his administrator privileges can free 30 days of compressed timeline. Effects on each crossing. There are currently no worlds with a particularly high level in the group. With his strength, let alone clear the world in 30 days. Even if the collection book is full, it is more than enough to complete the full achievement level. That's it. After making a decision, Lin Kei no longer hesitated, grabbing the pen and paper on the side and leaving a message for the Black Rabbit, saying that he would leave temporarily for a day. Lin Kei opened the chat group again. At this meeting of his diving, Asuna and the others, who had adjusted their mentality, had changed the topic and resumed their daily conversation. Because he was invited to help in the past, this time he wanted to take the initiative to go out, so Lin Kei asked directly. Aquaman, enthusiastic administrator, share worries for group friends online. Does anyone need help? Buckle 1 if needed. All members. Avenger, 1. Kenheim, 1. Miss Kaguya, 1. Benzina, 1. Hairspray Hands, 1. Sweeping his eyes, he found that everyone except Nami, Butterfly Canny, and Estes had deducted a 1. Aquaman, seeking, Benzina Kaguya, Miss Passerby, Heroine, what is the situation of the three of you? Don't you usually say every day how peaceful your life is? How do you still need help? Benzina, it's because it's so peaceful that I don't know how to brush world points, so I need help, begging my thighs to fly. Miss Kaguya, so am I. Passerby Heroine, +1. Although there are chat groups, it is only a matter of time before you open up your own world in the future. But that takes a lot of time, and it can't be done in a day or two. If Lin Kei had made a move, it would be different. I'm afraid that if you don't use it for an hour, you will be able to clear the customs directly. Seeking, if the world's prestige can't be brushed, then brush slowly. You three are a fart. Trouble. Pass first to see the others. Jianji, I want to kill a black dragon, but my current strength is not enough, so I want to find a teacher to guide me to become stronger. Seeking, simple, save points to strengthen physical fitness. 1 punch and 1 black dragon. The next. Fanma Starman, Aquaman, men please be self-reliant. This side gives priority to helping cute female skirt friends. Next. Hairspray Hands. Fanmark Singren. Read violent novels, just go on fellow novel network. Furniture City Master. Avenger, it seems like it's just me. Tantong Mu looked at the chat group with a more subtle expression. In addition to Lin Kei, there were a total of 11 people in the group. 3 were helped, 4 were passed, and 3 men were self-reliant. After talking in a circle, she who had been hesitating to tell the truth became the only survivor. Aquaman, if you have any problems, just say it. Aquaman, looking at it in the current circle, I need to take action on the trouble on Ace's side. Aquaman, if your trouble is the same kind of irrelevant as Asuna and the 2 of them, I'll go to Ace's side to help her. That being said, Lin Kei, who knew that the 333 people in the chat group had a world situation, had actually been waiting for Tantong Mu to speak more from the beginning. That's right, Lin Kei is ready to go to the Dark Bullet world. The reason was simple, he took a fancy to the cursed son of that world. Of course, don't get me wrong. Now he has no idea of punishment. Mainly today, when discussing the Harvest Festival, Black Rabbit mentioned the problem of insufficient manpower. If you want to replenish a large number of people in a short period of time, those cursed children are a good choice. Aquaman, Avenger, what about people? Why is it gone? If I don't need help, I'll go find Ace. Seeing that Tantong Mu did not reply even more, Lin Kei once again clicked in the chat group. Avenger, no, wait a minute, I need help on my side. After a short hesitation, Tantong Mu finally chose to tell the truth. Avenger, in fact, there are special children in my world, called cursed children. Avengers, if I can, I'd like to ask you to help them. After saying the first sentence, Tantong Mu completely opened the chatterbox. From the emergence of Enterovirus, she began to tell in detail in the chat group. Chapter 083. The situation in the dark world of bullets is not complicated. In just a few minutes, Tantong Mugen, who had been hiding his true situation in the past, said it all. Avenger, that's probably what happened. My personal grudge doesn't matter, after all, I can solve it myself at any time. Avenger, but these cursed children are the products of my world, and even I can't think of a way for a while. Furniture City Master, it is clear that they rely on cursed children to be able to live in the safe zone, but in order to vent their resentments, it is too much to bully them. Benzina, how can there be such a thing? That group of people is too hateful. Hairspray Hand, sounds like a deformed world. Kenji, weapons should be aimed at real enemies, not innocent children. Fanmark Singren, you said this kind of thing earlier. Even if I spend more points, I will go over and teach those guys a lesson. Thief Cat, that's right, I also have a lot of points in my hand now, I can help together. Avenger, thank you for your kindness, but the number of cursed children is too much. If there is no force sufficient to change the entire world pattern, I am afraid that no amount of people will be useful. Ice Queen, stupid, you don't need to be that troublesome at all. Seeing Tendo Mugen's speech, Estes, a veteran social Darwinist, suddenly appeared and began his own preaching. Queen of Ice, the weak should obey, and the strong deserve everything. Ice Queen, in the end, it's just that the cursed children are too young to understand this truth. Ice Queen, As long as you stand up and organize them to fight back and kill all those who are unwilling to cooperate, naturally there will be no such ridiculous thing again. Tantong Mu Geng, but doesn't seem to be simple, right? Although the human side lost the war with the gut monster, that does not mean that the human race really has no whole cards. Leading a cursed child in rebellion may sound handsome, but it also means declaring war on all. The uninfected, cursed children do not have the same recovery ability as gastric creatures, and if they are hit by hot weapons, they will be seriously injured. Aquaman does take it for granted, and there are not only people who are hostile to cursed children, but also people who are good to them. Aquaman, initiating a rebellion without permission will only put some of the cursed children in a dilemma. Aquaman, of course, although Esther's plan is not desirable, I agree with what she said. Avenger, which sentence? Seeking, as long as all those who are unwilling to cooperate are killed, naturally this ridiculous thing will not occur again. Lin Zhao opens the group crossing button to switch the target world to the pitch black bullet world. Tantong Civil Security Company. A young girl wearing a pitch black sailor suit with black stockings on her slender legs stood up. Her long black and bright silky hair swayed slightly with her movements, and her fair and smooth skin like fine snow was revealed along the gaps in her clothes. Black and white are intertwined, showing the girl's cold temperament to the fullest. Coming to the window not far away, she stopped and looked out the window, her face showing a thoughtful look. Kill all those who are unwilling to cooperate. Tendo Mu muttered more, repeating what had just been repeatedly mentioned in the chat group. People and people are different. If it is Estes who said this, Tantong Mu is more of a reference plan at most, and it will be chosen according to the situation in the future. But if he thought that this sentence was true, Tong Mu would think about how to do this, and after a short thought, she came to the conclusion, I can't do it. Sighing a little weakly, Tantong Mu showed a hint of helplessness on his face. Once the hunt begins, there will be mass casualties. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. As the news comes out, everyone will know that someone is hunting for someone who bullies the cursed son. At first, it is good to say, after all, the goals are all on the bright side, but over time, the undetected group will gradually lurk and bully the cursed children in more vicious ways. And more importantly, hunting this group of people is actually no different from declaring war on humanity, and will still follow the path of Ists in the end. Strange, it's obviously all the same. Why should Lin K deny Esther's words while agreeing with some of them? Because it's not really the same. Huh? You came so soon. Looking at the man who appeared in the room at an unknown time, Tantong Mu was not surprised. After all, after the other party had just heard about the situation of the cursed son, he indicated that he would help her first this time. After a few brief exchanges, Tantong Mu turned the conversation back to the original topic. Lin K, you just said that this matter is actually different. What is the difference? The difference is that what Stars wants to do is start a war. Lin K replied, the so-called war refers to the extreme means of action carried out by two sides with similar or small differences in strength in order to obtain certain benefits. But I'm different. Do you think the humans in this world and the whole cards in their hands, Li Hao, can hurt me? Tantong Mu thought even more. It shouldn't hurt you. How strong Lin K is still unknown. But when the other party chatted with the water group on weekdays, he said that he was a four-figure breaker and could burst the planet at will. In this world where the human side is defeated by the gastric monsters, it is naturally impossible for the human side to have the ability to hurt him. That's right. Like you said, nothing in this world can hurt me. Since the strength is not equal, then what I want to do naturally cannot be called a war. The correct name is slaughter. Chapter 084, Slaughter? Hearing Lin K's words, Tantong Mu was even more stunned, and then reacted. That's right, with Lin K's strength, this is indeed just a massacre. But, Lin K, can you find out all the evil people who have hurt the cursed son in a short period of time? Tantong Mu even reminded, although we have an absolute advantage in combat power, our real goal is to make the cursed son no longer harmed. If you can't find all the targets initially, after the initial purge, the remaining people will definitely disguise or hide. Family and friends are killed, and these cowards do not have the guts to take revenge like Gastrul monsters, and only dare to bully the cursed son. If one's own life is threatened, the result will naturally be needless to say. These cowards in hiding will only intensify their efforts, looking for cursed children who have no power to resist to hurt each other. Don't worry, it's not hard to find someone. Lin K smiled, as long as I want, I can kill everyone now. But that's too boring. At least let them understand why they died. 380 lines. Tantong Mu was even more stunned. What are you going to do? Lin K replied, first go and take down the ownership of this area. Are you going to find the Holy Son of Heaven? Tantong Mu came over, then I will help lead the way, we will go together. Before he finished speaking, the door of the room was suddenly opened. Under the gaze of the two, Saitumi Rentaro sneaked in from outside. Tantong, I just heard what you two said. His eyes looked at Lin K and Tantong Mu seriously, and his voice was full of puzzlement. What's going on, and who is this strange man? You guys aren't serious. Oh? Isn't this Rentaro? Although I still don't understand much, Lin Kei's movement will not be small when the time comes. The opportunity to see it up close may only be once in your life. Adag. Please don't change the subject, answer my question quickly. Say to me, Rentaro said with a serious expression. You two are really going to find the holy heavenly sun and then slaughter. Bang. Before he finished speaking, a fist suddenly hit him in the abdomen, knocking him to the ground. How is this possible? Receiving a sudden blow, Saitumi Rentaro raised his head in disbelief and looked at Tendo Kaijin in front of him. Why is your speed so fast, and the power just now? You don't have to know that much. Tendo Mu glanced at Saitumi Rentaro with some annoyance, and then walked past him without looking back. Let's go, Lin Kei. Just leave it alone. Lin Kei followed leisurely. He seems to be your friend. That's before the name of the group can be called the Avenger, and there is no need to say what kind of person Tantong Mu is. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. After obtaining the chat group and greatly increasing its strength in a short period of time, Tantong Mu was not a tease. Operate secretly through your enhanced body, investigate the enemy's course of action, and then look for opportunities to assassinate. In just 1 month, she has already made more than several moves, causing a lot of movement in this area. It's a pity that the good times did not last long. As a friend who left Tendo House together, Saitumi Rentaro soon discovered Tendo Kaijin's movements. As one of the insiders, after learning about what Tendo Ki had done, Saitumi Rentaro not only did not feel happy for Tendo Mu's smoother revenge, but thought that she had gone astray. In order to turn her back, the two have had several arguments during this time. The friendship between friends in the past has long been broken in this repeated ideological dispute. If he hadn't remembered that Saitumi Rentaro sacrificed his life to save himself when he was a child, Tendo Ki would even have slashed the other party with a knife. So that's it. Is it philosophically incompatible? Lin Kei, who was still thinking about how the relationship between these two male and female protagonists was so bad, replied, "This kind of thing is very common. You don't have to pay too much attention to it. If you feel that you owe favors to others, you can get 2 props that can regenerate the flesh or extend his life through the chat group in the future." Well, actually, I have that idea too. After breaking with Saitumi Rentaro, Tendo Mu, who had never had anyone to chat with, nodded even more, and gradually began to talk. But I asked around the group, and it seems that Uncle Long and your side have a prop with a similar effect. Uncle Long said that the 12 charms he collected were all placed in a place called District 13 and could not be taken out, and you may need Lin Kei's help to purchase them at that time. Good to say, good to say. The smile on Lin Kei's face became more and more intense, as the most enthusiastic administrator in the group. Isn't it normal to help the group friends? Tantong Mu nodded even more. I believe this. After all, Nami, who was helped, and Butterfly Kanao did not say good things about Lin Kei in the group on weekdays. Even Ests, who had a strange request and wanted to find someone to fight, had said that Lin Kei made her feel satisfied. Satisfied from the inside out. What is this satisfaction? Constantly thinking about this question in his mind, Tantong Mu chatted with Lin Kei all their way, and soon came to a huge palace. Arrived, Tantong Mu stopped even more. This is where the Holy Heavenly Sun lives on weekdays. We stop. Before Tantong Mu could finish speaking, an arrogant and domineering voice suddenly came from not far away. Who are you two? What are you doing here? Chapter 085. With the patrol team, Haoaki Takuto walked out of the palace with a contemptuous look. Looking at Lin Kei and Tantong Mu standing in front, he did not hide his boredom in their slightest, and opened his mouth to hurry. I remember that Lord St. Tansy didn't make an appointment today. If you two don't have business, hurry away. Wander here again. I bang dash. Before he finished speaking, Haoaki Takuto's whole person suddenly exploded, turning into a cloud of blood mist and floating around. Captain. The surrounding members of the Guardian team let out an exclamation, not understanding what was happening. But in the next instant, the bodies of these members of the Guardian team also exploded one after another, turning into a ball blood mist. Jumping beam clown. A fresh breeze blows, carrying the blood mist to the distant sky. Lin Kei, who was standing in place the whole time, took another step and walked into the palace without looking back. That's the end of it. Tantong Mu, who had just reacted, came back to his senses and trotted a few steps to catch up with Lin Kei. What did you just do? I don't think you left the place either. Or did you rush over and blow them all up, and then return to the same place? Lin Kei glanced at her. Are you some vampire when I am? Stop the person and then move down the stairs. Just slightly release the momentum on the lower body to crush them to death. It's as simple as that. After getting the Overlord color domineering from the side of the One Piece world, Lin Kei had already mastered the means to turn the momentum into a substantial attack on the enemy. Like the last battle with Perseus, he used this trick to directly stun everyone except Luos. But if the target is to change to an ordinary person like Takuto Haoaki, who can only fight dogs, then the result will be different. There is no need for Lin Kei to be serious, just need to release the momentum that has converged in weekdays a little, which is enough to crush the other party. Can you still do this kind of thing? What you said is too exaggerated. It is not a difficult task. Looking at the members of the palace protection team who ran from all directions after hearing the voice in the distance, Lin Kei replied, if you are a little stronger, you can do similar things. Bang dash, bang dash, bang dash. The strong smell of blood began to slowly permeate the spotless palace of the Son of Heaven. Huh? How is it noisy all the time outside? In the deepest part of the palace of the Holy Heavenly Sun, a girl wearing a long white dress, like a saint, with a delicate face and fair skin, raised her head, temporarily stopping the action of approving documents. She moved her gaze to Tantong Juzicheng, who was standing not far away. Your Excellency Kikino-chan, can I ask you to take a look at the situation? Of course you can. Tantong Juzicheng stood up and walked to the exit not far away, ready to push the door out. But just as his palm was placed on the door, a loud sound sounded in his ears. Bang! The door to the room was forced open from the outside by a huge external force. The door panel, together with Tendo Kikino, who was standing in front of the door, smashed against the wall of the room. Your Excellency Kikinosuke, faced with this shocking scene, Saint Danzi subconsciously exclaimed. Then, as if realizing something, her gaze left the Tendo Kikino-chan who was sunken in the wall, and looked at the two figures of a man and a woman at the door. Are you Tendo Mumo? As the ruler of the Tokyo area, Saint Tenko knows many secret things. For Tantong Mugen, a member of the somewhat special Tantong family, Saint Tanzi naturally knew him. Why are you here? It has nothing to do with you. Tantong Mu stood in place, his eyes motionless looking at Tantong Uzicheng not far away. You can just watch from the sidelines. Saint Tanzi frowned slightly, realizing what Tantong Mu wanted to do more. You want to kill Your Excellency Uzicheng? It's not us, it's Mu who wants to kill him. Lin Kei walked leisurely in front of Saint Tanzi, with a smile on his face. As for me, I came to find you. 0 for flowers 0. First meeting, Your Excellency the Son of Heaven. In order to save time, the means are a little rougher, so it didn't scare you. Looking for me? Yu Guang skimmed and just looked at Tantong Mugen, who did not immediately start. After a slight sigh of relief, Saint Tanzi asked, what do you want to do? It's nothing, I just want you to help with the publicity. Read violent novels, just go to Felu Fiction Network. Lin Kei pointed to himself. I want to say something next. Can I ask you to help broadcast it? Tantong, that guy is really heavy enough. Inside the Tendo Civil Security Company, Saitumi Rentaro struggled to get up from the ground. Although he had quarreled with Tendo Mu several times before, he did not think that he and Tendo Mu were more broken. In Saitumi Rentaro's opinion, the current Tendoki has only entered a misunderstanding because of hatred and the demagoguery of that strange man. As long as they can defeat Lin Kei and convince Tantong Mugen, the relationship between their two can return to the past. If only there was a starter. After dealing with his injuries with difficulty, Saitumi Rentaro left the company and went to their street. As a person with strong executive ability, when he sees Rentaro in the idea, he will act immediately. Next, he was ready to go to the Holy Tanzi Palace immediately to find Lin Kei and Tantong Mugen, who had set off first. Then, according to the plan just thought it up, defeat Lin Kei and convince Tantong Mugen. However, just when Saitumi Rentaro was halfway through the road, a cry for help suddenly came from not far away. Help! Come and save me! Looking in the direction where the voice came from, Saitumi Rentaro noticed a middle-aged man dragging a little girl into an alley. Behind him, he was followed by several young men with weapons in their hands and hatred on their faces. This is Saitumi Rentaro's body froze, and he instantly understood what was happening. Abominable. It's this time. 10. Chapter 086. As a native of the pitch-black bullet world, Saitumi Rentaro naturally understood what their situation was now. Not to mention what he learned from other people. I don't know how many similar incidents he witnessed since he was a child. So he knew very well what the cursed son would have been treated if he had left this alone. But if he made a move, he couldn't kill those people, and he had to find the right time to knock them all out. At this time of race against time, this must take a lot of time. Forget it. Quick fix. After standing in place and hesitating for a few seconds, Saitumi Rentaro finally stopped hesitating and took a step into the alley. But to his surprise, the picture in the alley was not the same as he had imagined. There was no maniacal laughter to vent the resentment in his heart, nor the screams after being attacked, and some only 820 was deathly silent. A red mist filled the air, bringing a faint smell of blood. The cursed son, who had just been dragged in, seemed to see some unbelievable sight, and looked at Saitumi Rentaro who had just rushed in with a dull expression. This is... Saitumi Rentaro was stunned, but he didn't react. Approaching the cursed son who had just been dragged in, he asked in a tone of shock as much as he could. What happened? Taking a few steps back to distance himself from Saitumi Rentaro, the cursed son replied, all of a sudden it all exploded. Blew it up? Not understanding the meaning of the cursed son, Saitumi Rentaro wanted to continue asking. After all, this matter is a matter of several lives, and it must be clarified. Help! Dead! What's going on? At this moment, a terrified commotion suddenly came from the square outside. Seitomi Rentaro quickly turned around and ran out of the alley. Hey, what are you going to do with your weapon? Seitomi Rentaro stepped forward, ready to stop the other party. But before he could get closer, a dull sound suddenly rose. Bang dash! Under Seitomi Rentaro's gaze, the man holding the knife suddenly exploded as if he had a bomb installed in his body. Blew it up? At this moment, Seitomi Rentaro understood the words of the cursed son just now. His gaze swept around, and under his gaze, more than a dozen people exploded in the square. One after another, blood mist began to fill the air, and panic began to spread throughout Tokyo. Just when everyone didn't know what was happening and fell into panic, a voice with a little smile and playfulness suddenly sounded. Moxie, Moxie, can you hear me? Seitomi Rentaro? Hearing this familiar voice, Seitomi Rentaro's body froze and reacted instantly. It's the guy who took Dantong. Following the direction where the voice came from, Seitomi Rentaro looked at the fast public screen standing in the middle of the square. Sure enough, Lin Kei's figure appeared on the screen. Not far behind him, on the left and right stood Saint Tanzi and Tantong Mugen. What's going on? Seitomi Rentaro's eyes were full of puzzlement. Didn't Lin Kei and Tantong Mu just set off not long ago? How long has it been? How can I see the Holy Heavenly Sun? And looking at this look, the other party seems to have reached some agreement with the Holy Heavenly Sun, so he will appear on the screen. Well, it looks like I can hear it. Just when Seitomi Rentaro was shocked, Lin Kei on the other side also nodded in satisfaction. Shrouded in domineering sight, he could see his own scenes and pictures appear all over their world. Now that you can hear the sound or see the picture, I'll get straight to the point. Lin Kei snapped his fingers and summoned a translucent screen out of thin air through the prepared video crystal. On the screen, several young people are working together, dragging a cursed son who is constantly resisting towards the alley. Seeing this picture, everyone in front of the screen should understand what will happen next. That's right, this is what all the more than 99 beings in front of the screen have seen, killing their cursed son Zero. But it's a pity. Bang dash, bang dash, bang dash. I don't like it. This is? Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Looking at the screen summoned by Lin Kei, the few young people who exploded out of thin air. Seitomi Rentaro, who had just seen this scene more than 10 seconds ago, widened his eyes in surprise. He did it. Yes, I think you all understand. On the screen, the corners of Lin Kei's mouth slowly rose, and a happy expression appeared on his face. I did the explosions that are happening all over the world right now. What a joke. Killing people for no reason. What is the son of Saint Heaven doing? Lord Saint Tanzi, why are you just watching? Demon, hurry up and kill him. As soon as Lin Kei's voice fell, all kinds of invective sounded in the square. After seeing Lin Kei's behavior just now, everyone understood that this strange man who suddenly appeared was fighting for the cursed son. But because of this, most of the people in the square will be angry. In their view, the cursed child is a gut creature, and the gastric creatures took away their family and friends. They are just taking revenge. It is natural that the cursed son is bullied. Anyone who fights for them is wrong. Ha ha ha. Not bad. 1.3. Just as the invective intensified, Lin Kei on the screen suddenly laughed loudly. Under the shadow of seeing and hearing domineering, a huge amount of passionate emotions flowed into Lin Kei's mind along with various thoughts. Although the flesh was still in a state of silence, Lin Kei's brain was urged to the extreme for their first time. In just a moment, he processed all the information, and his laughter became more and more happy. It's really good, I found it all at once. Slowly raising his right hand, Lin Kei gestured a pistol posture and aimed it at the camera in front of him. So, ready, dear audience. The hunt begins. Bang dash. Chapter 087. Bang dash. A crisp explosion sounded in his ears, and Seitomi Rentaro subconsciously followed the sound. It looks like a balloon that has been poked by a steel needle after being filled with gas. In the crowd standing in the square, a person suddenly exploded. Then, as if to remind people to start, the second person and the third person exploded out of thin air and began to intensify. As far as the eye can see, clusters of bright blood flowers continue to bloom. Roars of fear, cries of awe, and shouts of crowds crowded together. Various sounds mingle together, like a symphony of hell, blooming in the crowded square. That bastard! What exactly did he do? Seitomi Rentaro's face showed an angry expression. It is indeed wrong to bully the cursed son. But how can you kill people so plainly? In less than 10 seconds, more than half of the existence in the originally crowded square was missing. In Seitomi Rentaro's opinion, what is the difference between this and that group of perpetrators, and even more excessive? I'm going to stop him. Seitomi Rentaro looked in the direction of the Holy Tenko Palace, wanting to look for Lin Kei. But before he could start to move, a terrifying pressure suddenly hit him. His legs bent subconsciously, and Seitomi Rentaro instantly knelt on the ground. Bang! What's the difference between me and the perpetrator? As if hearing Seitomi Rentaro's heart, Lin Kei on the screen laughed again. Extremely ignorant question. Isn't the answer obvious? The biggest difference between me and those weak guys is that I'm strong enough. Boom! Like a thunderous roar, Deafening shouts resounded throughout the world. At this moment, Lin Kei's figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes in the pitch-black bullet world. He stood there quietly, with a wanton smile on his face, and reached out to provoke them. If you are dissatisfied with me, then come over. If I can't do it, then give me eternal kneeling. Boom. The terrifying momentum spread throughout the world, and everyone's bodies sank slightly at this moment. And Satomi Rentaro, who was taken care of, smashed 2 pits on the ground in both knees, and the whole person passed out in a kneeling position. It's almost time to stop. Looking at Lin Kei, who showed the words rampant to the fullest in front of him. He had already seen the other party's Saint Tanzi, who was like a god and demon, and after hesitating for a moment, he couldn't bear to speak. Compared to killing for no reason, you can obviously have a better way to make people get along with the cursed son. A better way? For example, Lin Kei turned around, and a sarcastic smile appeared on his face. With your new law on Enter a Zone that you have worked so hard to publicize, but no one has complied with. But, shut up. Lin Kei narrowed his eyes. I just kept you because your face looks good. It doesn't mean that you have anything special. If you talk nonsense here again, I'll send you on your way and let you go down and live peacefully with that group of guys. Hearing Lin Kei's words, Saint Tanzi finally calmed down this time. No one likes to die, especially meaningless deaths. In the face of this power gap that was not a dimension, the only thing she could do now was to appease those who survived after Lin Kei stopped. Okay, the first wave of screening is over. After shutting up Saint Tanzi, Lin Kei's attention returned to business. As a person who does what he says, he said that if he kills all those who are unwilling to cooperate, he will naturally leave no one behind. The first wave before eliminated only people who were standing exactly where they could listen to his voice and exuded intense emotions. After cleaning up more than 50 people in this world, Lin Kei, who has less pressure to monitor a large circle, can carry out a deep second round of investigation. Seeing that the domineering color urged again, with Tokyo as the center, the blink of an eye spread to the entire neon and dispersed to the whole world. This time, he listened carefully to everyone's voice and understood their thoughts. Sure enough, there are still a lot of fish that have slipped through the net. After a few seconds, Lin Kei stopped monitoring with satisfaction. Looking at the camera in front of him, a pleasant smile appeared on his face again. Guys, are you ready? The second round of hunting begins. After the second round of investigation, Lin Kei did not stop there. As one of the few who can destroy the world without taking care of the mood of the group, it can be wantonly destroyed. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Lin Kei naturally had to seize the opportunity and let go of playing. After 5 rounds of investigation, after cleaning up those who like to hurt the cursed son, he also cleaned up many grey forces, a wanted fugitive, a murderous robber, a companion who likes to take pleasure in the suffering of others. There is one to count one. As long as Lin Kei looks unpleasant, all of them are cleaned up. Of course, the latter behavior still has to be slightly concealed. Turning off the broadcast device in front of him, Lin Kei, who had slightly overplayed 013, coughed and looked at Tantong Mugen behind him. Lived up to expectations. Got it. Thank you. Listening to the prompt sound in his ears, Tantong Mu sighed even more unexpectedly. No wonder the environment of the cursed child is so bad. I didn't expect that there are so many people in this world who are hostile to the cursed son. No, the hostile part should be only about 60%. The rest of the Isaging was purely killed by him and cleaned up along the way. Feeling the current situation around the world, Lin Kei thought for a moment and asked, do you need me to stay for the time being? Although the target was temporarily cleared, it also caused some trouble. At present, the management around the world is relatively chaotic. If you need it, I can help you stabilize before leaving. Tantong Mu, who also thought of this question, was even more grateful. Then please. It's nothing, didn't I tell you before? His gaze paused slightly on Tantong Mugen, and a meaningful smile appeared on Lin Kei's face. My service will definitely satisfy you from the inside out, in every way. Chapter 088. Time passed, and 20 days passed in a blink of an eye. After the initial chaos, the strong adaptability of humans made the people of the dark world accept Lin Kei's existence. After all, there is no way not to accept it, just like Lin Kei said. The biggest difference between him and the group of people who harmed the cursed son is that he is strong enough. No one can confront him head-on. This is true even for the gastric creatures that led to the destruction of mankind. In these 20 days, Lin Kei has opened several live broadcasts to the world. Every live broadcast is a shot against Aldebaran. After witnessing the other party hit the stage 4 gut monster like a child, and won easily several times, Lin Kei's wind evaluation has smoothly transformed from the original world-destroying demon to the savior. With trolls and official operations around the world, the cursed son has become a symbol of peace. Lin Kei also became a hero who led people to fight back against the intestinal monster. In this way, there is no problem. In the Holy Tanzi Palace, Lin Kei took the juice handed by Tantong Mu from the side, and lazily lay on the chair to bask in the sun. The gastric monsters of stage 4 are all dead, and the rest are some less threatening existences. Then you will continue to run the world as my spokesperson. Tan Tongmu sat next to Lin Kei with some reluctance. Are you leaving so soon? After Lin Kei finished cleaning 20 days ago, Tan Tongmu was even more surprised to find that his enemies had been left behind by the other party. Under Lin Kei's intimate leadership, Tan Tongmu followed the other party around, cutting all their enemies to pieces one by one, and after completing his revenge, Tan Tongmu, whose favorability increased, was easily taken down by Lin Kei within a few days. Mainly in this world, the other party is the only person she can chat with at the moment. The rest are either unfamiliar or have average relationships. Thinking of this, Tan Tongmu laughed at himself. After you leave, I will probably become an orphan in various senses. Actually, you don't have to be so pessimistic. Lin Kei smiled and gestured to the palace not far away. In terms of acquaintances, aren't there still that vase and the eldest lady? Needless to say, the vase naturally refers to the Holy Son of Heaven. As for the eldest miss, she refers to Qianjin Sima YY, the president of the world's largest weapons company, Sima Heavy Industry. Although he was very high 20 days ago, as a Jakada, he has not forgotten this eldest lady who played a lot in the original work. After leaving the other party's family with a life, Lin Kei took this company under his command on the grounds of unifying the world. And Sima YY, who was the eldest lady of Qianjin, directly changed to Lin Kei's personal maid in this world. After that, these two people see Tan Tongmu more often in various places every day. Even if the original relationship is average, they are now half acquaintances. Of course, if you really don't want to stay here, I can also take you back to the box court. Lin Kei spoke. As long as you use your immigration privileges, pay points and you can stay on the other side of the box court forever. No, go to the box court or forget it. Tan Tongmu, who was a little moved, even refused. The chat group is a member of the world, and if I leave, I may not be able to come back. In the end, it is his own initial world, and even if Tan Tongmu doesn't like it anymore, he still doesn't want to completely leave it behind. As for the two acquaintances in Lin Gap, who were only honest acquaintances, Tan Tongmu directly ignored them. Such strange acquaintances, don't do it. Since you don't go, then I'll take the time to see you later. Seeing that Tan Tongmu refused even more, Lin Kei didn't care. Now there is a timeline compression function. If you want to see me, you can chat with me privately through the chat group. Anyway, as long as it doesn't take more than a month, it will only be one day for him to go to their boxing court. As for the points spent on staying, it is even less of a problem. As an administrator, Lin Kei has the privilege of doubling sign-in points and crossing the world with a discount, and basically can't deduct many points. If you are lucky, there may be a strange phenomenon of points not decreasing but increasing. Well, that's all I should say. Throwing the empty juice cup into the trash can not far away, Lin Kei got up and stretched his body lazily. It's almost time. I'm going to find the selected children. For 20 days, Lin Kei took the time to perceive the cursed son of this world several times. After a simple screening, he singled out about 100 cursed sons who had a relatively high overall quality and respected him. I plan to bring it back to the box court to replenish the nameless staff and avoid a shortage of staff when the next festival is held. Today is the time for the assembly to leave. In Lin Kei's perception, this group of cursed sons had already gathered outside the holy Heavenly Sun Palace and waited for his arrival. Finally waved his hand towards Tan Tongmu, Lin Kei turned around and disappeared in place. Box Court East District, 2,105,380 Outer Gate, inside the hall of the nameless main building. Black Rabbit, these are the fireworks that are going to be put off on the festival night. Placing the freshly purchased supplies in the bounty card on the ground, Letitia spoke. I've already informed Baixji that she will come over and get these fireworks in the evening. I'm going to Hakayasha-sama's next to pick up Lord Argel before Baixji arrives. These fireworks will trouble you to hold for the time being. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Leave it to the people. Laudry, Wang Mozao, Tisia. Black Rabbit replied confidently while picking up a long stick-like firework and looking at it. Before Baixji's arrival, people guaranteed that these fireworks would not be damaged in their slightest. Sister Black Rabbit. As soon as the Black Rabbit's words fell, a fox-eared Lila ran in from outside the door in a panic. Not good. Something big happened. What's wrong? Black Rabbit asked. Did something happen in terms of layout? Nope. No. After taking a few heavy breaths, Lili, whose two tails shook away excitedly, finally eased up and quickly reported. Brother Lin Kei, he has returned with his illegitimate daughters. Chapter 089. The crisp sound of breaking resounded in the nameless hall of the main building. The corner of Lisha's eyes twitched, and she looked at the two fireworks in the hands of the Black Rabbit that she had just sworn not to be damaged in the slightest. This rabbit is really not very reliable. Lily, what did you say? On the other side, the Black Rabbit, who did not know that his trust had declined, was holding the shoulders of the fox-eared Lili with an excited look and shook back and forth madly. Bastard! Lin Kei, he has an illegitimate daughter outside? Also, why do illegitimate daughters still have families behind? Is there more than one illegitimate Daughter, Sister Black Rabbit. Don't shake it, don't shake it. Lili, who was dizzy in her head, quickly replied, it's Brother Lin K who told me so. If you don't believe it, just ask him. Yes, Lin K is back. The Black Rabbit came back to his senses and quickly ran towards the outside of the main building. But as soon as he walked out of the main hall gate, the Black Rabbit was shocked by the scene in front of him. I saw 100 small lily carved jade, neatly arranged in a 10x10 square array, slowly walking towards the main building. In front of the phalanx, it was Lin K who led the team. Seeing the Black Rabbit come out, he raised his hand and waved, with a mocking smile on his face. Black Rabbit, I went out to the outside world this time and brought my illegitimate daughters back to you. How have you been pleasantly surprised? Black Rabbit, Black Rabbit. X and has stopped working. This is really, there is enough exaggeration. Coming to the Black Rabbit who was frozen in place, Letitia, who walked out a few seconds later than her, sighed. It is worthy of being the master, and he can leave so many illegitimate daughters in the outside world. No, that's not all. With the dashing character of the owner, give birth. That's not right. It's not reasonable. The Black Rabbit finally came to his senses at this moment and retorted excitedly, Lin K. He's not a stallion. How could there be so many illegitimate daughters? Isn't it? Letitia tilted her head, feeling that the Black Rabbit had some strange misunderstanding of Lin K's cognition. Of course, she still agrees with Black Rabbit's rebuttal. What I just said was just a joke. With Letitia's eyes, you can see at a glance that these Lili are not ordinary people. There are quite a few of them, and their bodies even exude a tenacious aura that spans their miserable azure field. This temperament. Master, where did you go, and abduct them back? Crutch turned back. The Black Rabbit changed color directly with excitement. No, Lin K. This is illegal. Send these children back with me, and then apologize to their families. What is called crutching? Pay attention to your words. Lin K snapped his fingers. Yanzu, tell Letitia about it. Are you abducted by me? Of course not. At the front of the phalanx, Lan Yuan Yanzu, who had crimson eyes and long hair, took a step forward and said in a serious voice, the concubine is to repay Lin K's kindness for saving the cursed son, and she followed Lin K here for the purpose of marriage. Good. Lin K nodded his head in satisfaction, reached out and held Lan Yuan Yanzu, who had restlessly leaned over after speaking, and looked at Letitia and Black Rabbit. How? I didn't lie to you two. I didn't kidnap it. They came with me voluntarily. If you don't believe me, you can just ask. No, no. No, there's no need to ask. The Black Rabbit's eyes widened and he pressed Lin K's shoulder excitedly. Hurry up and repent for me. Lin K, even if you are hungry and thirsty, you can't do it to such a young child. Edge, so you still know it hurts. Releasing the Black Rabbit's ears, Lin K lifted Lan Yuan Yanzu and threw it back into their phalanx. Talk and use your brain. If you don't use it for too long, it will rust. But this is obviously what this kid said himself. The Black Rabbit covered his head and retorted, what can such a young child understand? She said that she wanted to marry you or something. It was not you who induced it. What else could it be? Do you think everyone is like you and doesn't understand anything? Squinting at the ears of this stupid rabbit, Lin K, who had some itchy hands, replied, Yanzu is just simple precocious, so I understand this. As for getting married or something, of course I can't do anything to her now. She's too young to think about it, at least when she becomes an adult. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Isn't this still going to start? The Black Rabbit became excited again. Hurry up and stop quickly. Lin K. Hey, you guys shut up for me. Lan Yuan Yanzu, who had just stood up, couldn't help but speak again. If Lin K really regrets it, the concubine will directly throw you, the rabbit of bad people and good deeds, into the pot and stew it. Phew. Obviously people are helping you. After being directly hit by Lan Yuan Yanzu, the Black Rabbit was a little helpless. But just as she was about to continue saying something, Letitia came over from not far away and took over the topic. Black Rabbit, you calm down first. It takes at least a few years to wait for the child to become an adult, and there is no need to worry about it in a short period of time. I care more about what this kid just said than about it. Letitia looked at Lan Yuan Yanzu. Just now she said that she was repaying Lin K for saving the cursed son. What is a cursed son? Is there something wrong with this group of children? Lin frowned. There are indeed some minor problems. Although Lin K solved the gastric creatures, he did not solve the enterovirus in this group of cursed children. To this day, they are still exposed to the invasion of enterovirus and take the risk of becoming gastric monsters. Of course, this does not mean that Lin K is helpless. In fact, he already has a solution. It's just that in order to ensure success, he needs to go to the Thousand Eyes to find Shirayasha. First to ask if it is feasible. Anyway, let's go first. Lin K beckoned to Lili not far away and called the fox-eared Lili over. Lily, I have something to talk about with Black Rabbit. As a senior, take these new children to familiarize yourself with the surrounding environment. Lily nodded her head, her ears on the top of her head standing upright, trying to respond with the gesture of a senior. Leave it to me. Brother Lin K. Chapter 090. After handing over the cursed son to Lili, a senior, to take with him temporarily, Lin Kei returned to the main hall with Letitia and the Black Rabbit. Since the cursed sons would have to contact Black Rabbit and the others for a long time next, Lin Kei did not hide anything. After a simple explanation, he quickly explained the origin of Lan Yu and Yanzu and others, instead of pointing weapons at real enemies, but venting your grievances on children because of your own incompetence. After listening to Lin Kei's explanation, the kind-hearted Black Rabbit was the first to sit still. Lin Kei, how is the state of that world now? Did you only save the cursed sons you brought back, or did you say? Of course, it was completely solved. As if knowing what Black Rabbit wanted to ask, Lin Kei gave the answer first. Don't worry, there will be no bullying of the cursed son in that world in the next short time. The only problem with the cursed children now is that they are still eroding their enterovirus. That's good. After listening to Lin Kei's explanation, the Black Rabbit was visibly relieved. Because she trusted Lin Kei too much, she didn't ask Lin Kei how to solve this problem. On the contrary, the author on the side, Letitia, looked at Lin Kei thoughtfully, and seemed to understand why there was always a murderous aura on the other party. I'm afraid this is not killing, but directly solves the problem fundamentally. Speaking of which, Master, how are you going to solve the problem of enterovirus in those children? Letitia asked. Do you need me to turn those children into ghost species? Switching races is a very versatile way to solve problems. In addition to being able to solve the problem of black pupils' excessive physical potential and short lifespan, problems such as this erosion by viruses can also be curbed to a certain extent. If you are lucky, you may be able to directly reverse and turn the enterovirus into part of your own strength. No, you are simply treating the symptoms but not the root cause. Lin Kei rejected Letitia's proposal. 100 you can convert. What about 1,000 and 10,000? When I ask Shirayasha if it's feasible in the evening, I can start preparing. Lord Shirayasha. Letitia nodded thoughtfully. Lord Shirayasha is well informed. If you are not sure to pay attention, it is better to ask her. Speaking of this, Letitia seemed to think of something. Her face suddenly changed slightly, and she got up directly from the sofa. Master, I seem to have forgotten to go to Shirayasha-sama's side and bring Lord Aja back. According to Lin Kei's request, after Letitia took Aja to familiarize herself with the circle station, she directly took the other party to the Thousand Eyes procurement. After some commotion, Aja was temporarily left by Letitia to Shirayasha and went to purchase fireworks alone. According to the plan, Letitia was going to send the fireworks back first, and then pick up Aja to walk around. As a result, out of curiosity about the cursed son, she just forgot about this matter directly, and followed Lin Kei back to the main building to listen to the story for a long time. Almost 40 minutes have passed since I made an appointment with Shirayasha-sama. Letitia's face showed worry. I hope there will be no accidents. Don't worry, nothing unexpected will happen. Lin Kei waved his hand leisurely. As far as Aja's current appearance, Bayayasha let her 2 hands she can't beat. It is precisely because of this that he will let Letitia take Aja to the side of Shirayasha instead of staying in the Thousand Eyes. With Bayayasha watching from the sidelines, even if Aja suddenly convulsed and made trouble, he would be suppressed in the first place. Since it's along the way, then I'll pick up Aja. Seeing that Letitia seemed to be ready to go out, Lin Kei stood up and stopped the other party. As for Letitia, let's help the group of cursed sons arrange a residence first. Leaving Lily alone with the cursed son, to be honest, he was really a little uneasy. After all, the criteria for his selection are comprehensive quality and loyalty to him, and personality aspects are not taken into account. According to his observations, at least 30 of the 100 cursed sons had unique personalities. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. With Letitia watching, it was more secure. In order to prevent Shirayasha blood pressure from coming to the door. After Lin Kei left the task of raising children to Letitia, he left the nameless station as soon as possible. All the way to the door of the Thousand Eyes store, the female clerk in front of the door bowed slightly after seeing him. Master Lin Kei. Lin Kei nodded slightly. I came to find Bayayasha. Shirayasha-sama's words, currently with Aja-sama. Play. After pausing in a strange place, the female clerk took the initiative to reach out and open their door. If your purpose is to see Lord Shirayasha, then go straight in. Lin Kei was silent for a moment. They shouldn't really fight. Although he had thought about this possibility again, was Aja's guy so hard-headed? Please come in. The female clerk didn't say much, just opened the door completely. Seeing this, Lin Kei did not ask, and walked into the Thousand Eyes store. As soon as the front foot stepped in, a slight pulling sensation applied to Lin Kei's body, trying to pull him into a new space. As if thinking of something, Lin Kei did not resist. In the next instant, the fluctuations of spatial teleportation enveloped him, and the scene around Lin Kei began to change wildly. A dense forest with century-old trees, a grassland with swaying golden rice ears, and hills with a white horizon. Various scenarios continued to cross in front of the eyes, and finally freeze into a desert with no end in sight. 17 world-scale play places. Recalling the scene he had just seen, Lin Kei couldn't help but sigh. This guy Shirayasha is really a rich lalai. Boom. At this moment, a huge explosion sounded. Lin Kei turned around and looked in the direction where the voice came from. Under his gaze, a sun slowly rose from the ground. Chapter 091. It is not accurate to say that it is the sun. After all, the real sun is far larger than this game place under Lin Kei's feet. But as long as they are here and see the huge ball of light rising from the horizon in the distance, they will still instinctively think of it as the sun. I didn't expect that even the sovereignty of the sun was used. Lin Kei looked at this scene thoughtfully. It seems that Ayasha is iron-hearted and wants to teach Arja a lesson. After coming to the box court in person, Lin Kei also learned about the sovereignty of the sun. When chatting with Ayasha on weekdays, according to Shirayasha, each solar sovereignty can essentially be regarded as a collection of several top-level 610 bounties. In addition to the basic effects that everyone can use, there are actually hidden effects of solar sovereignty. It's just that if you want to stimulate that part of the hidden effect, you need the corresponding merit or inheritance. And as the holder of the celestial movement theory link, Ayasha, who can control their movement of the sun, naturally does not lack this so-called inheritance. Even if he was hundreds of kilometers away from the battlefield, Lin Kei could still feel the heat coming from his face. Obviously, Ayasha urged the sun sovereignty this time, and did not mean to keep his hand, and directly urged his power to the extreme. But, although Hakayaksha did not mean to show mercy, the other side of the battle, Arja, was not a role to be slaughtered. After noticing that Hakayaksha was serious, she also became serious. The earth continued to shake, and a sand and stone giant with a magical aura at a height of 10,000 meters stood up from the desert. Under Arja's control, the sand giant directly raised its huge fist and smashed towards the oncoming sun. It's really big. Looking at this scene, Lin Kei scratched his head a little helplessly. The timing of his arrival is really bad enough. As the current holder of Arja, if he didn't see this scene, he could still throw the pot, saying that it was Arja's own problem. But now that it's all on the scene, if he continues to look at it like this, it will be a little bad. Forget it. Anyway, the current power specification is still in the 4-digit range. Taking a step forward, Lin Kei's figure disappeared in an instant, appearing in the middle of their battlefield hundreds of kilometers away. With your left hand, hold the blazing ball of sunlight and throw it into the sky. The right hand blocks the sandstone giant's fist and shattered it directly. After doing this scene lightly, Lin Kei raised his hands and gave a French military salute. Hi so far. Don't fight any more of you two tilde, huh? Seeing that his attack was instantly diffused, after Hakayaksha was stunned, he finally saw who was coming. Lin Kei? Ayasha's expression instantly became fierce. You bastard even dares to appear in front of me. Even if you say so, I don't know why I don't dare to appear in front of you. Reaching out to block Arjal, who also seemed to want to say something, Lin Kei smiled and shrugged. Give me a reason. Hakayaksha. Do you still need to say this? A green tendon jumped on Ayasha's forehead. Of course, it is the matter of Arjal's seal. Why don't you let her out? No one knew how complicated Hakayaksha's mood really was when Letitia appeared in front of her with a living and bouncing Arja. In order to allow Nameless to develop steadily, she privately communicated with various gods, such as Greece and the Bible on the day after the Perseus incident. With his own credibility as a guarantee, Hakayaksha managed to convince these gods to temporarily believe that Lin Kei could keep Arjal's seal. As a result, within a few days, Lin Kei shattered the seal, released Arja, and even threw it in front of her. At that moment, Ayasha even had the idea of returning the godhead and taking back their power to directly hit Nameless. Just because of you bastard, our face has been completely lost this time. I won't be able to lift my head when I see that group of guys in the future. Is it so serious? Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Novel Network. A sneer appeared on Lin Kei's face. After listening to Ayasha's explanation, Lin Kei finally understood why the other party's anger was so great. Shirayasha vouched for him with his own reputation, and as a result, he turned around and threw Hakayaksha's credibility to the ground and trampled on it. Put yourself in his shoes. If someone dares to do this to him, he will definitely go to the other party's head as soon as possible. Ayasha is still just scolding, and he is already very stable. Even Lin Kei, who was not sticking to the pot, did not dare to throw the pot at will at this moment. If this really provoked Ayasha to return to the godhead, there would be no such a useful tool man in the future. After thinking about it, Lin Kei suddenly had a brilliant idea. Shirayasha, the matter of unsealing Arja without authorization is indeed my problem. Otherwise, if someone dares to mock you about this in the future, you will tell me. Lin Kei waved his fist. I'll help you beat him in a sack, and you take photos next to you, so that both of you have each other's black history. You're a little genius. Hearing Lin Kei's words, Ayasha was also laughed angrily. When the time comes, a group of 3 digits are around laughing at me. Are you sure you still dare to make a move? And this good thing? Lin Kei was a little moved. How about you increase your efforts and try to make the double-digit 4.6 also laugh at you? Shirayasha, or maybe think about returning the godhead. Ahem, I was just joking, don't get excited. Seeing that Ayasha's expression was wrong, Lin Kei did not stimulate the other party again, but changed the topic. In fact, I came here today to ask you something. Sit down and talk first. I hope you do what you say. After all, Bai Ayasha did not choose to take back the strength to fight Lin Kei. The main thing was that she was also a little curious about whether Lin Kei would really do what he said. After making up his mind to wander around Greece in the evening, Hakayasha summoned a gate in front of him. Come along, let's go back to the Thousand Eyes store first. Chapter 092. We probably understand the situation. Inside the Thousand Eyes shop, after Bai Ayasha took the teacup and took a sip, his eyes looked at Lin Kei directly opposite. You want to use their evolution elixir that was given to me last time to strengthen those cursed children and make their body functions complete evolution, and then through the evolved body, to suppress the enterovirus in the body to control it, right? That's pretty much it, Lin Kei replied. In fact, just simply removing enterovirus, I have several methods on my hands. For example, after opening up the Dark Bullet world, Lin Kei found a special medicine to cure enterovirus from the mall. It is not difficult to take it out and study the formula to heal the cursed son. But what I want is for those cursed children to have both the enhancement of enterovirus and the evolution potion. Can this be done? Normally, you can't do it. Shirayasha gave the answer. One is to continue to erode the flesh, and the other is to evolve their flesh to repair the defects. If there is nothing to reconcile in the middle, only the side with a stronger effect 04 will remain. Lin Kei did not give up and asked, if you reconcile, what is better to use? It depends on your own conditions. Shirayasha replied, if you want the evolution elixir and the enterovirus enhancement to coexist at the same time, you must let the effect of the evolution elixir play out at a fixed point. When it strengthens the flesh, it just removes all the defects of enterovirus, and only their strengthened part remains. If it's a single goal or two, it's easy to do that. But if you want to be effective on a large scale, then there are limited methods. After thinking about it, Shirayasha gave several plans. Simply put, it is three ways: potions, magic, and equipment. In terms of pharmacy, you can find someone to develop blended agents specifically for these two, and then reduce the cost and mass production. The magic is much simpler. Arrange a world-sized conceptual magic, so that when this evolutionary potion and enterovirus conflict, it can achieve the result of successful fusion. As for equipment, this option is even more like Yahweh's Holy Grail that can bring miracles. You can achieve your goal by swinging it at home or in the world where enterovirus is raging. The Holy Grail of Yahweh, Lin Kei asked thoughtfully. What will happen if I rob him? It's nothing, Bai Ayasha replied lightly. Basically, it was besieged by nearly half of the community on the upper echelons of the box court. Lin Kei was a little surprised. The power of Christianity is so great, or the other communities in the upper echelons of the box court are too pooled. You're really stupid, Lin Kei. You can't figure out such a simple thing. In order to prevent running around, Aja, who was directly set under Lin Kei's butt, mocked. The current end of human history in the Hao court is as of the 2000s, and the fundamentalism is the largest sect that actually existed in the 2000s. If you move against the Jijiao and snatch their holy relics, it will affect more than just one Jijiao. Linquan, so in order not to affect their layout in the outside world, the major gods and groups will attack me together. Is that right? Almost. Bai Ayasha opened the folding fan and waved. Anyway, if you want to strike at the Holy Grail, there. Only good news is that you won't hit two figures. Limited by the omnipotent paradox of the box court, Christianity, which constructs a cosmology based on monism, cannot exert its full power in the box court. Including the gods of the Bible, the Christian side sends at most 3-digit powerhouses. Judging by Lin Kei's previous performance when she interrupted her fight with Aja, it was still no problem to run away. Of course, he is the only one who can run away at any time. Like those nameless children, as well as Black Rabbit, Letitia and others, they can't run away easily. The discussion of the Holy Grail has been temporarily suspended. Let's give you some reliable advice. Noticing the serious thinking expression on Lin Kei's face, Bai Ayasha's fingers tapped on their table, drawing the other party's attention back. Just dealing with a conflict between a gas virus and an evolution agent doesn't need such a high-end item. In addition to the kind of miracle props that can improve your luck and bring about the destined result, not for now. Without waiting for Bai Ayasha to finish speaking, Lin Kei suddenly stood up and nodded slightly towards Bai Ayasha. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. It's just a small problem of dealing with enterovirus and evolutionary agents, and the method you have given so far is enough. You know it's a small problem. Bai Ayasha's gaze towards Lin Kei was somewhat subtle. In fact, in retaliation for Lin Kei for pitting her, most of the advice she gave until now was unrealistic. Compared with those unreliable 977 laws, she originally wanted to introduce some simpler methods. As a result, Lin Kei actually said, enough to use? Looking at Lin Kei, who mentioned Jaja and was about to leave, Bai Ayasha couldn't help but speak. Hey, aren't you really going to attack the Grail? Don't worry, I'm not that stupid. Lin Kei smiled. Even if you are a little interested in that cup, you don't want to start now. So ready to start later? Recalling Lin Kei's behavior so far, Bei Ayasha suddenly regretted talking to Lin Kei about the Holy Grail. Well, let's stop here today. Lin Kei waved his hand towards Bei Ayasha. Don't forget what I agreed with you before. Whoever wants to mock Argyl's matter must tell me. For your face. Even if I fight for this life, I will definitely fight back. What a strange tone of voice are you? Bei Ayasha looked at Lin Kei suspiciously. How do you feel that your kid seems to be expecting someone to mock us? That's your delusion. He just wanted to brush up on the world's prestige, and he definitely didn't expect Hakayashi to be ridiculed. Chapter 093. Hey, it's time to put Tell down. Coming out of the Thousand Eyes shop, Arja, who was held in his hand by Lin Kei, struggled, with an unhappy expression on his face. Forget about the Shirayasha piece, and if you go outside, someone else will see it. If you leave a black history at that time, how can you be an idol in the future? Isn't it black history to be beaten by Shirayasha? Lin Kei glanced at her, but didn't say anything more, but put it down directly. Let's talk about why I fought with Hikayasha. Looking at her like that, she should be angry with you. It's nothing. Sorting out the folds on his clothes, Arjil replied. It's mainly the guy from Hikayasha, who talked a lot to Al like an old mother, and looked like he didn't trust Al. Lin Kei asked, and then a triumphant look appeared on Arjil's face. Then Al felt unpleasant and wanted to shut up. Shirayasha, just tell her that instead of taking care of Al, it is better to worry about how she will face their Greek and biblical guys in the future. Lin Kei? No wonder Hikayaksha broke his defenses to summon the sovereignty of the sun, and their feeling was that you taunted her with this matter. Recalling the promise he had just made with Bei Ayasha, Lin Kei shook his fist thoughtfully, thinking about which sack to use to cover Arja. Hey, what kind of expression are you? Arjil noticed something was wrong and squinted at Lin Kei. Hikayaksha didn't mention this just now. Shouldn't you still think about attacking Al? That's your delusion. Lin Kei temporarily put away the idea of doing it. First, Arja's temper is relatively short-tempered, and if she really fights, it is easy to arouse her rebellious mentality. Second, it was the same as what the other party said, and just now Bayasha did not mention this matter. There is no need to fight Arja because of such a trifle. Don't mess around for the next while. If you fight with Shirayasha again, I won't go over and save you every time. Got it, got it. Arjil lowered the corners of his mouth, a little unconvinced. How can you guy be the same as Bayasha, care so much? It's hard to come out. Al just wants to walk around, and there's nothing wrong with it. Lin Kei felt like he had raised an older daughter. I just told you to stop making trouble, and I didn't say anything about restricting your freedom. In fact, I'm going to let you go out alone and help with something. Arjil looked over. What happened? Since you like to be an idol, let's go out and come on tour. Lin Kei took out a prepared flyer and waved it in front of Arjil. Go to some 5-figure, 4-figure exterior doors and hold a few more concerts. Try to beat the reputation and tell them that the last concert will take place at the Torite Eunice Falls Harvest Festival. Sounds good. Arjil took the leaflet and looked at it, asking, what are you doing here? Nothing, just try it. Arja's ownership is known to be in his hands. If Arja becomes the first idol in the true sense of the box, he will beat his reputation out. Then as the master of Arjil, Lin Kei will naturally become famous together. He wanted to see if it could raise the world's prestige. Come on. I'm optimistic about you. Lin Kei patted Arjil's shoulder. If the effect is good, I will come back to you with a reward. HMPH. Then you are optimistic. Arja ruffled his hair and showed a confident expression on his face. The first idol of the box court is definitely not Al's self-styled. A few days later, in the south area of Otai, a luxurious European-style manor, a beautiful girl with a crown hair ornament on her head and a luxurious dress sat dignified and elegant at the oak round table. Taking a small gulp of the dessert that her subordinate had just presented, the Halloween queen narrowed her eyes comfortably, and a satisfied expression appeared on her face. This is good. Who did it? Goblins of Avalon. Scar, dressed in a deacon uniform, pushed the cart and walked slowly from not far away. Putting the black tea on the table, she added, it's the same group of goblins who helped the queen make tiramisu after receiving the commission last time. The Halloween queen showed a clear look. It turned out to be the little guys. No wonder their taste is so suitable. Avalon? As the class ruler of the southern district of Hakate, and the community under their Halloween queen, read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Every time the Halloween queen comes up and wants to do something, 90 will be handled by Avalon. For example, in terms of desserts, after more times and experience, the goblins affiliated with Avalon also gradually understand the taste of the Halloween queen and are able to make desserts that satisfy her every time. Slowly eating the rose chocolate on the table, the Halloween queen took a sip of the teacup and looked at Skyha. How are these days? Is there any interesting news from that side? Well, there are indeed unexpected rumors heard. Sky replied. The nameless new leader is said to have destroyed Arjil's seal. Oh? A smile suddenly appeared on the delicate face of the Halloween queen. And then what? Did there be any reaction from Hakayashi's side? I don't know exactly, but Skaha paused slightly. On the day that Aja broke away from the seal, their Thousand Eyes shop was temporarily closed for a while, and only the nameless new leader managed to enter. It seems that a fight has started. The Halloween Queen was determined, as long as Shirayasha and Aja meet, they will fall out at the end of every time. It's no longer a matter of probability, it's an inevitable result. By the way, one more thing. As if thinking of something, Skaha spoke again at this time. Nameless became the territorial ruler of the Talit-Unisian waterfall generation, and prepared to hold the Talit-Unisian harvest festival 20 days later. It seems that for propaganda, the nameless new leader sent Aja out, and is currently at their main outer gates. Hold a concert. Send Arjul to a concert? As if hearing some unexpected news, the Halloween Queen couldn't help but chuckle. I can always do unexpected things. Skaha asked. Do you have any ideas? If I don't go in person, it will make too much noise. The Halloween Queen thought for a while. When the Nameless Harvest Festival is held, you can go there for me. Chapter 094. Time passed slowly, and more than 20 days passed in the blink of an eye. Because he sent Aja out on tour, Lin Kei did not go to other worlds this time. Every day, I stayed in the area near the Nameless area, helping to prepare the Harvest Festival while paying attention to the situation on Arjul's side. Make sure that the other party really has an accident, and he, the holder, can receive the news as soon as possible and calm the riot in the past. But perhaps his words were heard in his ears, and Aja, who went out for a concert, unexpectedly did not mess around this time. Not only did he hold concerts in 10 outer doors in a row, but he even accumulated a large number of fans in the true sense. On the other hand, under the careful preparation of Black Rabbit and others, the arrangement of the Harvest Festival was completed the day before the official start as originally expected. Phew, now it's no problem. Hanging the last lantern on the trees, the Black Rabbit jumped and ran not far away. It's all done. Lin Kei, yo west, good job. Lin Kei touched the head of the Black Rabbit. If there is anything you want, I will get you one in the evening, and it will be regarded as a reward for this effort. Don't touch people's heads. Opening Lin Kei's palm, the Black Rabbit's face showed an expectant expression. Is there really a gift? Of course. 783 Lin Kei replied with a smile. Don't worry about financial problems, we won't be short of money after this harvest festival is held. Even if it's a godhead, I can get a few. That person has to think about it. Black Rabbit's face showed a thoughtful look. This is a rare opportunity to slaughter you. You have to seize it. Letitia, not far away, Letizia, who had just arrived, paused and listened to the conversation between the two with a subtle expression. No matter how you look at it, it looks like a conversation between the owner and the pet. It's completely domesticated. Huh? What was domesticated? The ears on the top of the Black Rabbit's head shook, and he noticed Letizia's muttering for their first time. Lord Letitia, what are you referring to? Nothing, you don't have to care. Shaking her head casually, Letitia tired in front of Lin Kei and opened her mouth to report. Master, Lord Aja has just returned. Lin Kei nodded his head absently. After all, tomorrow is the time for the Harvest Festival to officially begin. He has always followed Aja's movements, and AFBH has even contacted him remotely in private, so it is not surprising. But just when Lin Kei thought that everything would go smoothly as planned and envisaged, Letitia brought him unexpected news. In addition to Lord Aja, 2 other guests have also returned with her. Judging by their meaning, it seems that they are ready to meet the master and discuss something. Guest came with Arjul? Lin Kei was curious. Who is so brave as to dare to act with Aja? Letitia replied, it's Lord Vrazoignafates, the leader of Willowisp, and her staff officer, Mr. Jack Vera, the strongest in the Northern District. Hearing this name, Lin Kei's face showed a look of surprise after being stunned. No wonder you can get mixed up with Aja. If it were her, it would make sense. Vrazoignafates. This name, Lin Kei is not unfamiliar. The other party is not only the strongest in the lower echelons of the north region of the Box Court, but also the great demon who appears in the realm of life and death. If it was this famous great demon, he would naturally be able to talk to Arjul, who had their identity of the original demon in the outer doors of Aja's tour. Well, there are indeed 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 0, 0 outer doors coming. After thinking back to the outer door where Willowisp was located, Lin Kei sighed a little. Emotionally, I was originally going to wait for the end of the festival to meet each other in the North District, but I didn't expect to be brought back by Aja. I'll see, Willowisp, after the festival. The Black Rabbit on this side heard his words and asked with some curiosity. Lin Kei, do you already have a plan for the next step? Yes. Lin Kei looked at the stupid rabbit calmly. If I don't think about it in advance, will I wait for your staff officer to think about it? You can't blame people for this. The Black Rabbit coughed twice in some embarrassment, and the ears on the top of his head shook restlessly from side to side. I've been busy preparing for the Harvest Festival lately, and I haven't stopped at all. If you have time, people will naturally plan their next development in advance. I don't blame you You don't have to be nervous. After all, from the beginning, he had never expected this aspect of the Black Rabbit. As long as there is no expectation, there is naturally no loss after the expectation is disappointed. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. If the Black Rabbit is the case, it is enough to sell cute every day and occasionally be coquettish. Why do people suddenly feel that your vision is a little rude? The Black Rabbit Fox looked at Lin Kei suspiciously. It shouldn't be thinking about something bad. No, that's your delusion. Lin Kei turned around casually and walked towards the back. I'll go back to receive the guests first, and the rest of the inspection work will be left to you. Lin Kei, don't worry. The Black Rabbit waved his hand energetically. People will check it carefully. There will definitely be no problems. At the same time, 678900 out to door. Your Excellency. What did you say? Maxwell's eyes widened and he looked at the little girl in front of him. Vera. My bride. She ran away with someone. That's right. I ran away with someone. Wearing a sleeveless black dress and long black hair, the lively girl raised her hand and pointed to the east. And according to the information I received, the person who abducted her seems to be the famous Arjel. Arja? Maxwell calmed down for a moment. If it were her, Vera should be fine. After all, that's the famous narcissist. Even Maxwell, who only wanted to track Vera every day, had heard rumors about the other party. And among the various legends I have heard, I have not heard the rumor that the other party is. Gee, is it really good to be so calm? Just as Maxwell was recalling the rumors of Arja, the voice of Kaylee Bell came again. Although Arja will not attack Vera, her current holder may not be. Oh, as far as I know, it was a color demon who found 100 Lilai to join the community in one day. 100? The string jumped on the name of Sanity, and Maxwell's eyes suddenly filled with bloodshot. No, no way. I have to go and get Vera back. Boom. In the storm of hot and cold wind, the newly promoted 4-digit Demon King disappeared in place, leaving only a smug girl. Plan Pass. Chapter 095. First meeting. Chief Lin Kei. In the nameless main building, Jack, who was holding a huge pumpkin head, put his palm on his chest and bowed slightly to the man in front of him. Down there's Will-O-Wisp's staff, Jack. As for the one next to him, it is our leader, Will-O-Wisp, Verazwignafates, Jack said, reaching out to signal the girl beside him. Vera, come and say hello. Hello. The girl in the gothic Lilai suit nodded slightly, and then fell silent. Please don't care. As if expected Vera's reaction, the pumpkin head laughed again and spoke. Explain. Vera, she doesn't talk much, no matter who she faces. It's okay, I won't care about such a trifle. Lin Kei smiled and looked at the strongest person in the lower level of the North District of the Box Court with a sense of nature. Although he has a sweet baby face, unlike the face with a little childishness, the other party's figure is definitely top-notch, especially the terrifying curve before the Huns. Even the Black Rabbit will be defeated when he sees it. It is worthy of the rumored giant Humili-Lilai, and it really deserves its name. What's wrong? Seeing that Lin Kei had been staring at him, Vera asked timidly after a moment of silence. Is there something on my face? No, I'm just waiting for you to say the purpose. Skimming Alja, who was sitting in front of the floor-to-ceiling mirror not far away, and let Letitia take care of her hair, Lin Kei spoke. If I'm not mistaken, you should have taken the initiative to find her. Follow Arja all the way here. It won't be just to say hello to me. Purpose. As if thinking of something, Vera shivered violently, and a mist rose in her eyes. This is still explained by the next. Seeing that the communication between Vera and Lin Kei was slow to progress, Jack on their side took the initiative to take over the topic. Well, when we first approached Lord Arja, who happened to be passing by, we wanted her to help fight off a 4-figure Demon King. Although Lord Arja and Vera chatted very much, Lord Arja eventually refused our request. According to Lord Arja, she agreed to your request from Chief Lin Kei. Unless you get permission from your side to make a move, you can't take the initiative. Linquin, so you followed her and ran all the way to the side? This is Al's proposal. Before Jack could reply, Arjel's voice suddenly came from the side. Getting up from the floor-to-ceiling mirror, she ruffled her freshly groomed colorful flowing hair, and a meaningful smile appeared on her face. Lin Kei, don't you always say that you are a good person and like to help people in difficulty? Al thinks that Lin Kei should have sexual interest in Vera, so he brought it back to you. Good. Worthy of Arjel, much smarter than some stupid rabbit. In vain, he had made a special move before to save the other party from Shirayasha's attack. Silently giving Arja a satisfied look, Lin Kei looked at Jack and Vera again, a smile on his face. Like Arja said, I'm a person who loves helping people in need. Since the two of them have been attacked by the Demon King, then I am naturally willing to help. But Lin Kei paused slightly, giving Jack and Vera a second to react. Although I like to help, I still have to talk about remuneration. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. As the saying goes, if you don't follow the rules, you can't form a square circle. If I don't get paid, I may be approached for trivial things in the future. Regarding this, I hope the two of you can understand. Of course we can understand this. Jack the Pumpkinhead replied with a smile. After all, this matter is to face the 4-digit Demon King. and ordinary people are afraid that they will run away in fear just by hearing it. Chief Lin K, you are still willing to help after knowing about this. We are already grateful. Zero ask for flowers. As for remuneration, we at Will-O-Wisp are a community of manufacturing, making a variety of fine crafts and gifts. If the leader of Lin K needs to create any gifts, we can help for free. How about this? Help create a bounty for free. It sounds good. Lin K paused for a few seconds in thought, but to be honest, this reward is a little worse than repelling the 4-digit Demon King. The pay is indeed a little worse, but that's the only thing I can think of at the moment. Jack did not deny this. If you have anything else to ask for Chief Lin, you can mention it. As long as we can do it, we can consider it if the cost is not too big. Since you said so, then I'm not polite. Lin K smiled and casually took out a flag from the gift card. I'm going to form an alliance with Nameless as the main body, and you, Will-O-Wisp, will all join, while regularly helping Nameless create bounties at the lowest discounted price. How about? Jack was stunned. Just like this? Join the alliance and help build bounties on a regular basis. In his opinion, this remuneration is basically the same as the one he just said. There is still a difference. As if guessing what Jack was thinking, Lin K spoke. You and Aja have been together all the way. You should have known about the situation of namelessness. Naturally, I have understood. Jack nodded. It's not a secret. We actually met with the unknown previous leader, Kasugabu Dakaki, a year ago. It was with the help of each other that Vera and I fought off Maxwell. Unfortunately, it didn't take long for Nameless to be attacked. Vera and I are really ashamed that because we have been stared at by Maxwell and dare not easily contact unknown people to help. Speaking of this, Jack seemed to react, and suddenly looked at Lin K in realization. I see, Chief Lin K, you formed an alliance to get back those nameless inheritances? Again. Chapter 096. As the strongest community in the lower echelons of the Hao Court, the huge wealth held by Nameless is difficult to describe in words. Although the banner and companions were lost due to the attack of the Demon King, their property in the station was also taken by the Demon King. But this is not to say that there is nothing left of the Nameless. According to Black Rabbit, there are many special things in the wealth owned by Nameless. For example, the ownership of a special area, or an important treasure associated with a certain group of gods. Items like this that would expose themselves once taken away. The Demon King who attacked the Nameless did not take it, but stayed. But there is a good saying, Pifu is not guilty, he is guilty. Even the Black Rabbit with a simple personality understands the namelessness that has lost all his combat power, and what will happen if he holds these things again. So on the second day of 833 after being attacked a year ago, Black Rabbit sorted out all these things and went to Thousand Eyes and Shirayasha to make a very common inheritance contract. For the next 100 years, Shirayasha helped take care of this wealth. As long as Nameless can return to the six-figure during this time, he can retrieve this wealth at any time. If it does not return to the six-figure within 100 years, or if Nameless is completely dissolved, then this wealth will belong to Shirayasha who has helped take care of it for these 100 years. Although it is a very common inheritance contract, Nameless used to be the strongest community in the lower classes anyway. At that time, as soon as this contract was established, all those who paid attention to Nameless received the news as soon as possible. As a community that has been helped, Will-O-Wisp is no exception. To be a six-figure community, a flag is a necessary thing. Nameless has lost the banner at present, and there is no news of the Demon King who took their flag. It's really a good idea to choose to form an alliance in this case. The flag of the Union is the same flag. As long as the alliance can be successfully formed with a nameless subject, the six-digit community can be promoted by temporarily replacing the nameless flag with the banner of their alliance. Thinking of this, Jack sighed a little. Being able to lead Nameless to redevelop in such a short period of time, Chief Lin K is really witty. Lin K raised his eyebrows. You are quite able to talk. No wonder you can become a staff officer. Compared with his rabbit who reacted slowly for half a beat, it was simply a heavenly and under-the-bottom existence. I'm just telling the truth. Jack, who didn't know that he was compared by Lin K, laughed. Since Chief Lin K wants to get back the nameless inheritance, then we are naturally willing to become part of the alliance. However, the formation of the alliance, just 2 communities is not enough. Chief Lin K, do you have other goals? This depends on tomorrow. Lin K replied. After the harvest festival is held, people who are interested in cooperating with Nameless will naturally send it to the door. Waiting for the rabbit is indeed a good idea. Jack nodded in approval. Through a simple conversation with Aja on the road, he vaguely understood the composition of Nameless's current combat power. The 4-digit pure-blood dragon species is lacking. 4-digit star spirit and god Agil. 4-figure vampire king Letitia. If nothing else, just when these 3 people go to that station, there will be a large number of small communities who will take the initiative to lean over and seek refuge. Even the larger communities don't mind cooperating with Nameless. It is not difficult to select a few qualified or obedient communities to form alliances. Speaking of which, Chief Lin K, do Do you have any good plans? After negotiating the conditions for Lin to make a move, Jack brought the tropic back to business. Although I don't want to admit it, Maxwell Demon King is indeed a very troublesome enemy. Not only does he have the power of the realm, he can instantly move to an area hundreds of kilometers away in the blink of an eye, and even has an extremely strong immortal body. Just because of this tricky life-saving ability, even the unnamed previous leader, Takaaki Kasugab, did not leave him. If you want to make a move on Maxwell, it's better to prepare in advance. It's easy. Lin Kei replied with a smile. Just beat him to death before he reacts and shifts himself. Jack, read violent novels, go on fellow fiction network. How did he feel that Lin Kei was not on the same channel as him? A 4-digit demon king with life-saving ability and escape ability, who kills with one blow before he reacts. Can this really be done? Zero. After thinking about it, Jack was ready to remind Lin Kei again. Chief Lin Kei, I think. Airplanes tilde. Before Jack's words were finished, a strong spatial fluctuation rose in the room first. Vera. Maxwell's blood-red eyes ran out of it, and he looked excitedly at Vera, who had a sudden complexion not far away. Do not be afraid, my dear bride. I'm here to save you. Phew. No. Vera subconsciously took a step back, and a terrifying aura suddenly appeared on her body, ready to attack. You calm down. At this moment, Lin Kei's palm fell on the top of Vera's head first, calming her down. This is my home. If you really summon the hellfire, I won't have a place to live. Bastard. Let go of your hands. In the other half, seeing that Lin Kei was in contact with Vera so closely, the expression on Maxwell's face instantly distorted. Dare to defile my lovely bride. Bang. Before he finished speaking, Maxwell's upper body suddenly exploded. Where are you, a 10,000-year virgin? I can't stand this contact. Lin Kei, whose evil taste suddenly appeared in his heart, did not solve the other party's 2.8 with one blow. As he said before, looking at Maxwell, whose upper body regenerated rapidly in a short period of time, his eyes suddenly looked at Vera, who had not yet reacted on the side. I have a way to completely provoke him and prevent him from escaping, but it may cost you a bit. Would you like to give it a try? Yes. Vera nodded her head as fast as she could. Since we met, as long as I can kill him, I'm willing to do anything. Well, that's what you said. Lin Kei smiled, reached out and pinched Vera's chin, in the other party's ignorant gaze. No. Maxwell, whose upper body had just completed regeneration, went completely crazy at this moment. Chapter 097. Inside the nameless main building, the atmosphere fell into an eerie silence. Whether it's Letitia and Adil, who are eating melons and watching the play, or Jack, who is ready to help, everyone didn't expect Lin Kei to suddenly come to such a commotion, and his brain came to a standstill at this moment. Phew. It's scary. At this moment, Vera, who was one of the parties, finally came to his senses and pushed Lin Kei on the side to open the distance. However, as soon as she turned her head, she saw Maxwell not far away, with red eyes and a distorted expression looking at her. Following her body's instincts, she retreated back again and silently shrunk behind Lin Kei. Judging from the current situation, this side is still more terrifying. Vera. Noticing Vera's small movements, Maxwell, who had already fallen into a state of madness, became more and more mentally abnormal. Why are you doing this to me? Obviously you are my bride. I have worked so hard for you. Why would you rather choose a stranger who just met 05? You don't want to choose me. Do you still need to ask? Lin Kei put his arm around the giant insult Lalai beside him. On the one hand, he is a madman, with abnormal spirits, and on the other hand, he is a handsome and kind person. As long as your brain is normal, you know which one to choose. So it is. I get it. Bright red blood and tears flowed from Maxwell's eyes, and he suddenly let out a maniacal laugh. It's this guy. This guy coerced you. My dear bride, wait a minute. Even if it's a fight for this life, I will save you too. Don't. There were wolves in front and tigers in the back, and Vera, who could only stand behind their relatively normal Lin Kei, had tears in her eyes, and her body trembled slightly and refused. Even if I die, I will not be with you. That's not right. This is absolutely fake. Maxwell's body suddenly appeared behind Lin Kei and grabbed towards Vera. You must have been coerced by this abominable fellow. This is definitely not your true words. Too slow. In the blink of an eye, Maxwell's arm instantly exploded into a blood mist. Then, before his reaction could be teleported, a palm slammed around his neck and lifted him up. That's sad enough. Maxwell. Lin Kei looked at him with pity. Obviously, the strength and ability are still good, but I can only be singled to death. When I think of your miserable end, I can't help but want to cry. Maxwell glared angrily at Lin Kei. Goodbye. Lin Kei let go of the other party's neck and let the other party's body fall. In the next instant, a terrifying blow that was enough to destroy the stars fell on his chest, completely killing every cell in his body in an instant. Bang dash. In the eyes of everyone, Maxwell's body completely shattered, and the bright red blood mist drifted in the hall of the main building. Letitia, leave it to me, Master. The black shadow spread from the soles of Letitia's feet, turning into a shadow behemoth, swallowing the blood mist in the air in one go. At this point, The 4-digit Demon King Maxwell completely disappeared into this world. It's not interesting. Not far away, Arja, who didn't know where to take out a pack of snacks, lowered the corners of his mouth, and his face showed disappointment. I thought you would play a little longer. Why did you kill him? Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. What else can you do if you don't kill? Wait for him to react and run away. In any case, Maxwell is also a 4-digit Demon King who holds the power of the realm. If the other party really wanted to run, even Lin Kei couldn't solve it in the first place. Of course, it's not a matter of movement speed. The main thing is that he wants to race with the power of his flesh and space teleportation, and the power that bursts out is absolutely terrifying. At that time, just the aftermath of the rush will probably cause incalculable damage. In order to prevent that from happening, it is better not to play it too high. If you overplay and overturn, it will not be convenient to explain it to your own allies. At that time, thinking of this, Lin Kei turned around slightly and looked at Vera, who had run to the corner to hide. To be clear, I'm not the same stalker as a stalker who is not very mentally sane. A smile appeared on Lin Kei's face. I told you in advance, you need to pay a little price to be able to keep the other party. You agreed. I did that, didn't I? But you didn't say it was such a cost. Vera looked at Lin Kei in awe, always feeling that the other party's words were full of strange, illusory. Just when the atmosphere was gradually embarrassed, Jack the Pumpkinhead suddenly walked out from the side and let out a burst of laughter. Although the process was somewhat unexpected, Chief Lin Kei did what we requested, didn't he? Stop being capricious, come out and say thank you quickly. As a smart person, Jack could naturally see that Lin Kei had just done it on purpose. But in any case, the other party did fulfill the promise. Before Maxwell runs away, get rid of it completely. From the time the commission was issued to the conclusion of 397 bundles, it took a total of 10 minutes. In such a short period of time, Lin Kei solved the problems that had plagued them for hundreds of years. In Jack's view, paying a small price is not a loss. Sorry, I was a little excited. After a brief persuasion from Jack, Vera finally calmed down from her panic. Looking at Lin Kei not far away, she said rather nervously, "Thank you for your help." "No thanks, you've already paid." Lin Kei took out the alliance flag that had been designed in advance and gestured towards Vera, with a meaningful smile on his face. To be honest, the nameless inheritance or something, Lin Kei actually did not fancy it so much, purely to fulfill the Black Rabbit's wish. As for letting Will-O-Wisp join the alliance, it was simply for Vera's giant humility. After tying Nameless and Will-O-Wisp together through the alliance, it will be much easier to contact in the future. I'll ask for more advice, Vera. Phew. The mist began to appear in Vera's eyes again. It seems that the problem has not been solved, but has become bigger. Chapter 098. The territory was attacked by a 4-digit Demon King. In the Nameless main hall, the Black Rabbit, who had just returned from checking the Harvest Festival, heard shocking revelations as soon as he opened the door. Really fake. Lin Kei, shouldn't you be joking with people again? After Lin Kei's month-long high-intensity training, Black Rabbit has become immune to the fact that the other party likes to joke. The fox looked around suspiciously, and after finding that there was no damage anywhere, Black Rabbit's face showed a clear expression. Sure enough, it's deceiving again. If there really is a 4-digit Demon King attacking their territory, how can there be no damage at all? Black Rabbit, do you say there is a possibility? Lin Kei raised his fist and waved. It's that I'm too strong, so I solved it before the other party caused damage. No way? Black Rabbit's head shook like a rattle. Even if there is a gap between 4 figures, there will be no such crushing situation, and there will not even be a trace of battle. In the past, you believed the truth every day, but now you don't believe the truth. Lin Kei sighed with some emotion. Although it is not the first time to experience it, every time I experience this feeling of wolf coming, it is very subtle. If you don't want to experience it again, then it's better for the owner not to be full of lies in their future. Letitia came over from not far away, put the supper she was carrying on the table, and then looked at her own staff officer on the side. It's hard for you to check the festival arrangements, Black Rabbit. Nothing, it's not that difficult. After the Black Rabbit giggled a few times, he suddenly noticed that what Letitia had just said was not quite right. Lord Letitia, why did you just say that you don't want to experience this feeling again? Do you say, well, just like you think? Letitia nodded calmly. The master didn't lie to you just now. He really dealt with a 4-digit Demon King who invaded the territory before you returned. Huh? Exclamation mark. Black Rabbit exclaimed in surprise. But isn't Lin Kei also a 4-digit figure? Is there anything surprising about this kind of thing? Lin Kei casually gave an example on the side. You and Bei Aixi are still in 5 figures. Do you think you can make a move of her? Black Rabbit. The Black Rabbit, who originally wanted to say something, suddenly fell silent. Can she kill Bei Aixi in one move? After thinking seriously for a few seconds, a subtle look appeared on the Black Rabbit's face. It seems like it really can. However, she couldn't exaggerate as Lin Kei, and there was no trace left after the battle. No, No, this kind of thing cannot be pondered. Otherwise, it would be too rude for Baixchi, who was preparing the opening of the harvest festival in the distance. After shaking his head like a rattle a few times again, the Black Rabbit threw these distractions out. In short, it's good news that everyone is fine. Solve the possible Demon King in advance. Let's enjoy the celebration tomorrow. Have a good time enjoying the celebration. Lin K smiled and looked at the news in front of him that only he could see. 678900 out a door. Maxwell is dead. Huh? Kaylee Ling, who was jumping around in the kitchen to prepare a late-night snack, suddenly turned around in surprise. Following the direction where the voice came from just now, her eyes scanned several times, and finally found her target at the door. It was a strange existence that could not see the figure and appearance clearly, and could not understand what the other party was wearing. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. This is not a special gift similar to stealth, but a simple sense of its own existence. If it weren't for years of contact, even Kaylee would have found out the true location of their other party in the first place. Teacher, you're not kidding, are you? Putting down the food that had just been halfway in his hand, Kaylee Suzu took a step forward and came to this man with a thin presence. Maxwell. Didn't he just go out for a short while? Why did he die? Unfortunately, it's not a joke. The man known as the teacher calmly replied. He is indeed dead. According to my observations, Maxwell's third perpetual motion organ's Linga has returned to its true owner. But Kaylee Ling opened her mouth a little dumbfounded, and an incomprehensible expression appeared on her face. Isn't the demon star in an incomplete state now? With the Linga, the third perpetual motion mechanism, Maxwell will not be able to run away even if he pulls his crotch. With a perverted stalker beside him as a monitor, even Kaylee Suzu felt a lot of pressure. So when telling Maxwell the news that Vera had been taken away, Kaylee Ling did have the idea of asking Aja to simply kill Maxwell. At his peak, Aja could understand that he dropped him seconds before Maxwell could react. Now that Linga has been suppressed, the other party can suppress Maxwell at most, and it is basically impossible to completely kill. As a result, how long has it been? It didn't seem to even arrive for an hour, and her own teacher actually told her that Maxwell was already cold. That famous demon star. Is it really so outrageous? It's not Arjel's hand. Xingljia narrowed his eyes. I just looked at the nameless territory from a distance and found that there was no disturbance at all. If the demon star made a move, that area would not be so quiet. No traces left. Kaylee Ling became a little confused. This kind of thing. Is anyone really able to do it? Of course there is. Xing. Promise Zhao. Lejia chuckled. As long as one aspect steps into the 3-digit realm, but the other aspects are still in the 4-digit realm. To be honest, I underestimated the nameless new leader, and originally thought it was just a simple pureblood dragon species. The musician knew that Maxwell had been tuned out by Kaylee Bell, but he, like Kaylee Ling, did not expect Maxwell to really die there, so he let the other party go out and let the wind go, testing the nameless who began to show his head again. Outcome: Maxwell was really cold. It's like a person who swims in the water every day and suddenly drowns one day. It's abrupt, incomprehensible, but somewhat reasonable. No wonder he dares to break the seal of the demon star, so that he can understand. As if thinking of something, Xingl suddenly chuckled. There's a good show tomorrow, Kaylee Bell. Chapter 099. The moon set and the sun rose, and the time came to the next day in a blink of an eye. Hoting East District, 2,105,380 Outer Gate. As a 7-figure, ordinary outer gate located on the corner of Hakata City, there are few people here. But as the Torai Tunis Falls Harvest Festival warms up, a large number of people have come to their outer gate closest to the Torai Tunis Falls in recent days. Bustling crowds fill the streets, and the shops that used to be empty are full of noisy discussions. At this moment, a translucent screen appeared in the sky without warning, attracting everyone's attention. Under the gaze of everyone, the Black Rabbit wearing the host's costume and exuding a vibrant aura appeared on the screen. Hello, good morning everyone. The Black Rabbit waved his hand and greeted the crowd below. This is the Black Rabbit. It's an honor to meet you as the host of the Harvest Festival. Huh? It's the nobles of the Box Court. Did the organizer of this time actually invite the nobles of the Box Court? Don't you know? Black Rabbit is the person who organized this time. I don't know. I just rushed to see Lord Arja's concert. Huh? And what is a concert? Be quiet. Be quiet. Don't affect me to look at the rabbit. In order to celebrate the efforts and harvest of the past year, the regional manager of the Great 287 Waterfall in Tunis, no name, decided to hold this harvest festival. Since the projection screen appeared in several outer doors and above the Torai Tunis waterfall at the same time, Black Rabbit did not know that someone had already quarreled over her. Her ears flexed on the top of her head, and she was happy that the harvest festival could be held smoothly, and she was reciting the lines she had prepared in advance. In this harvest festival, the organizer, no name, has prepared a total of 5 bounty games for guests who come from afar. They are Harvest Festival Marketing, Hunting Ground, Water God's Trial, Flower on Their Lake, and Magic Star Concert. As for the reward, please don't worry, Guests. Communities with the top 100 total value of goods sold on Harvest Festival marketing will receive a 6-figure bounty. Flying leg guards. Those who successfully clear their Trial of the Water God and Flower on the Lake will receive a small water tree sapling and a chance to change the course of the river, respectively. As for the final finale, the fans who can insist on hearing the last moment at their Magic Star concert, you can get an unnamed leader such as me, and Lin K, a 4-digit powerhouse, will not violate the principle once the 4-figure powerhouse will be shot. Really fake. Such a generous reward. Groove. Originally, I just came over to play a circle. But now it seems that I have to shoot. You guys think too much. And when you see you like this, you haven't heard of Lord Argyll's concert. Listen to you, have you heard? Nonsense, otherwise why would I come here? That voice full of magic, you will definitely lose yourself after hearing it once. The specific rules are as above. I hope you can abide by the rules set and don't think about cheating to clear the customs. If you are discovered, you will be directly disqualified and punished. On the screen, the black rabbit who has just finished describing the rules puts his palm in front of the rabbit's ear and makes a listening gesture. Then she leaned forward again, waved a finger in front of the screen, and blinked. So, respecting the above, based on glory and flag, the Toritunis Falls Harvest Festival officially begins. I wish all the guests who come from afar a happy time in this Harvest Festival. With the fall of the last sentence, the screen in the sky disappeared in an instant, leaving only an exclamation and exclamation. In addition to lamenting the rich prizes of this Harvest Festival, he was also amazed by their uniqueness of this box court nobleman. Afba is the first time they have seen the cute moon rabbit. At the same time, it was located in an unnamed territory on the edge of the outer gate of 2,105,380. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Yay! The opening ceremony was a great success. The black rabbit, who was still selling cute on the screen just now, jumped off the stage with a happy face. Listening to the cheers from afar, she seemed to have picked up money, and the corners of her mouth couldn't stop rising. In this way, there is no need to worry that the effect of the harvest sacrifice is not as good as expected. He worthy of being a famous Hakoto aristocracy. Not far away, Vera and Jack, who did not leave after solving Maxwell yesterday, but temporarily stayed at Lin K's invitation, walked over. Looking at the bouncing black rabbit, Jack praised, "It's very powerful to mobilize the atmosphere in such a short time." The black rabbit, who was rarely praised, scratched his head, and the smile on his face became more and more intense. People are not as powerful as Mr. Jack said. Bang tilde. Before she finished speaking, a black shadow suddenly fell from above the black rabbit's head, smashing her to a halt. What happened? After picking up the hammer on the ground and recognizing that this thing was the culprit who interrupted his speech, Black Rabbit looked around in confusion. In the next second, she found that Vera, who was standing next to Jack, was holding an identical hammer in her hand. At the moment when her gaze passed, the hammer in the other party's hand disappeared. Instantly. Bang tilde. Wait. What is this doing? The black rabbit, who had suffered the blow again, covered his head and looked at Vera with tears in his eyes. Sorry. Jack on the side reacted slowly, quickly held Vera's shoulder and apologized. Vera, she always likes to do this to people she meets for the first time, and then observe the reaction of the other party. Watch. Observe the reaction? The black rabbit couldn't help but complain. This is too much. Just because of this kind of thing, people's heads have been hit twice and fed. Yes, that's right, it's too much. Under the service of Letitia, Lin K, who had just got up, walked over from not far away with a leisurely face. Looking at Vera, who suddenly took a few steps back in a panic, as if he wanted to distance himself, a smile appeared on his face. Chief Vera, it's not a good habit to attack strangers for no reason. Vera replied with some trepidation. Yes, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's a good thing to know that mistakes can be corrected. Lin K smiled and stretched out his right hand towards YK, in order to correct this vice of yours. Let's act together today. Vera, phew. If you know it early, you won't be greedy for fun. Chapter 100. Faced with Lin K's invitation, Vera naturally did not want to accept it. Although on the surface, Lin K and Maxwell are completely different people. But Vera's keen instincts told her that the other party was more dangerous than Maxwell. If you act together with the other party, it is easy to have big questions. But in this matter, she is indeed the wrong party. Faced with Lin K's invitation to correct his vice, Vera couldn't find a reason to refuse for a while. Okay. In fact, people don't care so much. Just when Vera felt a dilemma, the black rabbit came over from the side and eased their atmosphere. Lin K, don't be embarrassing Vera. I think she should also know that she is wrong and will not do this kind of thing next time. Vera, who was shivering like a quail, quickly nodded her little head. It won't happen again. After speaking, Vera decisively pulled up Jack, who was standing on the side, and followed their survival instinct and ran towards a short distance. I went to the festival game. Chief Lin K, staff officer of Black Rabbit. We'll see you in the evening. Lin Kei. After a rare moment of silence, Lin Kei suddenly reached out and grabbed the Black Rabbit's ears and dragged them left and right. Huh? Why did you suddenly attack people? Holding the little head that was mended by Lin Kei after receiving 2 heavy blows, the Black Rabbit looked at Lin Kei in confusion. Did people do something wrong? You're wrong in talking too much. It's all a union, and some will be time contact later. And occasionally teasing Vera, watching the other party's panicked and powerless look, is still quite interesting. Master. At this moment, Letitia came from not far away. Guest? Did someone come to the door so early? Lin Kei looked over with some surprise. Who is it? 2 guests in total. It seemed that the same person who came was a little surprised, and Letitia paused slightly before giving the answer. They are Skaha, the messenger of the Queen, and the Lord God from Olympus. Athena. Huh? The Black Rabbit looked over in surprise. Really fake? The messenger on the Queen's side is also counted. Why will Lord Athena also come? Did you say? Is it for Lord Argel? Maybe that's only part of it. Lin Kei shrugged his shoulders and walked in the direction of the main building. Let's go meet the guests. I didn't expect to meet you in such a place. Looking at Skaha sitting in front of her, a look of thought flashed in Athena's eyes. Is the Queen also paying attention to Argel's affairs? Well, I am paying attention, but it's not as serious as you think. Dressed in a deacon suit, Skaha put down his teacup and looked at the goddess of wisdom with silky blonde hair like his own queen. I came here this time mainly to see Lin Kei. Lin Kei, the nameless leader. Athena narrowed her eyes. I heard that when he bought Letitia, it was the Queen's money. Read violent novels, go on fellow fiction network. At that time, in order to be momentary, he even spent hundreds of thousands more gold coins, raising the price to 1 million. Oh, you said that. After Athena's reminder, the corners of Skaha's mouth, who remembered this, rose slightly, revealing a smile. You may not believe it, but the Queen is quite satisfied with his behavior. Athena? Satisfied with spending hundreds of thousands of gold coins more on yourself? In the face of the other party's non-routine play, Athena showed a subtle expression on her face. But just as she was about to say something more, the door of the closed room not far away was suddenly pushed open. Under the gaze of the two, Lin Kei walked in from outside with the Black Rabbit. Good morning too. Coming to the main throne, Lin Kei looked left and right. It's exempt from introducing yourself, or something. Since you took the initiative to come to the door, the two of you should know something about me. I don't like to go around the corner. Please two of you also be a little more direct. Unexpectedly, Lin Kei opened the door as soon as he came in, and the atmosphere fell silent in an instant. After looking at each other for a few seconds, seeing that Athena didn't seem to mean to speak first, Skaha suddenly chuckled. Then let me say it first. Skaha looked at Lin Kei. In fact, I came here mainly to bring a message for the Queen. Lin Kei asked, what words? Skaha replied, the Queen is going to hold a tea party and invites you and Arja to attend. What about the exact time? Half a month later. After all, it is used to entertain old friends and your tea party, and you need to make more preparations. I see. Lin Kei nodded slightly. Please bring a message to the Queen. I will take Arja to their appointment on time. It's really refreshing. Seeing that Lin Kei agreed without any hesitation, Skaha, who was already ready to answer various inquiries, smiled. Reaching for a piece of dessert on the table, Skaha looked at Athena directly opposite. Okay, my business is over. It's up to you. If I hadn't heard it with my own eyes, I would have thought that you were talking about whether you should have a meal together at night. I didn't expect Lin Kei to communicate so quickly between the two, and Athena, who originally wanted to observe more, was a little helpless. Isn't that the meaning of having a meal together? Lin Kei smiled. It's just to participate in a tea party, and it's not to fight the Sun Sovereignty war. It's that you're too serious. To be honest, your personality is a little different from what I've heard. Athena sighed a little emotionally. That guy in the Kayakshaw said that you are a problem child with an extremely bad personality and only likes to make trouble. Now it seems that something is not very similar. You should not offend her. Well, after all, I broke Arja's seal. Lin Kei replied pointedly. This is a big problem, and it is inevitable that she will have a grudge against me. What do you think?